Okay. Or we should do it like radio presenter. No, I'm joking. Okay, so we'll do something right now. Damn Larry. Bingo, Abby. Is everybody inside? Just checking. If there's anybody outside and you can hear me, please make your way inside. We're about to start. Unfortunately, you cannot freeze table tennis like in time, but we will start from where you stopped, Sha. So we'll do something right now. We want to get to know one another, right? There are people here that are familiar with each other already. So the good thing about guys is that if you put 10 strange men inside the room together, by the time they are coming out of the room, if you don't know themselves name, but they don't bond, which is usually a good thing. But this time I want to be a little more deliberate about it, but we'll make it fun. So we're handing out like slips right now. Okay. So if you have one, just let me see your hands up. All right, beautiful. I think people here don't have yet. Yeah, people in front. Imagine. It's front. People are supposed to have first. Okay, so here's what's supposed to happen. You guys are familiar with bingo already now. So I'm sure your first guess is let's tick. Well, no, let's not tick. We're not ticking anything.
It's not for yourself.
It's not for yourself. What's going to happen is there are 9 things on that sheet. For each of those things, you'll find somebody in the room. Right, you meet them and you write their name under that thing. We have 10 minutes for this. 10 minutes, very quickly. For each of those things. So, same size of shoe.
By the way, if you can find more than one person for a box, right, that's good. And if you have the highest number of if you have the highest number of people on your list, I guess there's a gift for you. So yeah, just try and put that together. Yeah. Meet people around. Yeah, definitely.
So they heard
so
gift
now
and
you
they
heard
stood
the
up.
gift and now you're standing up. I like that spirit. Which one have I? Wait, let me see.
Hey, you people didn't give me any bingo card. What's up? Give me one. Slept off during online service. How dare you?
I'm saying one guy so you cannot write. Okay, that's something. You cannot write Kizo. Quick addition. You're not permitted to put one person's name in all of the boxes, right? You can't have a Samuel that doesn't know how to swim and has been arrested before. Okay, you can't do that. So you have to look out for different people.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's very important. You can't put one person's name in more than one box, but you can put many people's name in one box.
Yeah. No. Or the last one is no, they took it to their office. So it was not police. It was all the people that
You can't put one person's name in more than one box, but you can put many people's name in one box.
I'm not. That's what I'm trying to say. Let me see. So I actually prefer physical Bible to not necessarily. It depends. I kind of combine the two, but I don't know how to swim. Where is Briggs? What?
Well, like,
When did we start?
started, you put.
Let me see.
I may win the prize.
No.
Hold on. You can write more than one name in one box. You can write more than one name in one box, all right? If you can find two people that have done one thing, it counts as a point, more points for you.
So let's say
You look like you've been arrested before.
No, my brother, I've not. But I don't know how to swim. Kizo. Yeah. Kizo.
Thank you.
I'm not going up. Okay. That's why I said let's just stop this first. We know how slow it's going. How many of you have filled up all the boxes?
Dr. Jide Shoke.
If you filled up all the boxes,
where's your bingo?
you're one step closer to getting a gift.
Damn, Larry, somebody doesn't have bingo card here. We have 2 minutes more. We have 2 minutes to round up. One more.
No. Do I look like I've been arrested before?
Have I had...
Which one have I done?
You can have more than one name in a box. Oh, the way people are gingered. When you discover that the price is not really...
Let me see. Mr. Damilare. Mr. Damilare. You've not played ball before. No, I didn't have stitches. No.
You can have more than one name in a box.
A new slip.
I kept saying it. You can have... We have 1 minute more. We have 1 minute more. My dilemma now is I don't know how to stop you
If you're
guys.
looking for who has been arrested before, I have a candidate here for you. You will pay me for a rejo. If I give you a name, you pay me. I have a candidate for you.
I've not slept off. Shame on us.
Well, I'm not pointing, but it's somebody in that direction.
I have more than one name in a box. All right. Okay, let's start making our way back to our seats now. The game is over, guys.
No need to collect extra shit at this point.
Okay, let's make our way back. Oh, the way people are gingered. Only to discover that the price is not really... it's not really priced.
How many names do you have?
Oh, yeah. Let's come together. Hold on to your cards. I said cards, not actually paper, but you understand? Okay, let's make our way back to our seat. Is somebody playing Jenga?
All right. Let's come forward now.
All right. The game is over. Oh. Laulu, I see you. We invalidate your results. I see some people cheating there. See them.
Why are they copying themselves?
See this man. Jesus Christ. And the price is not serious, oh. Honestly. The price is price. I agree with you. Okay, wonderful. It's as if we are getting settled now. Those guys are really bonding. I love it. Okay. So let's start with here.
Okay.
So we'll find the highest here and then we'll find the highest there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let's see if you have up to 6 names on your
If you have up to 6
on your slip.
6 different names.
6 different names, right? That is you were able to fill 6 boxes with six different names, right? 6 different people. Okay, nice. That's good. That's good. All right, let's take it up a notch, yeah? If you have up to 9 names. 9 names.
What? So almost everybody filled.
9 different names.
You have 9 names.
Okay. So all your boxes are filled with different people, right?
Bro, this is
Or you have some like boxes with 2 people. Okay, that still works. That still works. Let's see. So if you have up to 15 names, let's see. 15. Have you counted it?
You're the only one that has 15. Jesus. You have up to 17 names. 17.
Let's see.
17.
If you have 17, okay, let me. Okay, just come forward. Let me get your slip. Just come forward.
Okay, yes, please. If you have you have what? 16. How many do you have? 20.
Wow.
It's just 9 boxes.
I'm seeing them.
Okay, come.
So this guy literally has like almost 3 names on each slip.
We will validate this.
Can you remember the faces of all of these people? You can try. So if I call a name from this now,
you can point to the person.
Can you walk up to the person? So I'm going to just go. Random. This person has slept off on a call with a love interest or partner. So I'm saying Supreme. So just walk up to Supreme for me. Let's see how good you are with faces.
Laulu, your hand was still up. How many?
Wow. Maybe you want to come to the front and look backwards, yeah? Yes, I think he has like maybe 15 or so, or 17,
Laulu,
I guess.
18. You have 20.
So you're looking for a Supreme in this audience. Oh, you found him. Wow. That's really good. Well done.
Supreme is too distinctive. You have used another person.
Oh, true. True. The skin color.
Obvious. You say 18. Okay, wow. So I'll give you a random person. I will not say Supreme. Because I already saw Supreme here. So he's wearing something red. Who is Toby wearing something red? Oh, that's too easy. Wait. Come.
Wrong direction.
You are not Toby. Hey, boss. Did you miss the name? Who is the Toby wearing red?
If you are Toby, raise up your hand.
Wearing something red.
Wow.
Is it who Toby Salako? Sorry, sir, what's your name, sir? Mola, my name is Toby Salako. It's nice to meet you. I'm not wearing it.
Wow. How many names are there?
What's how many? Okay.
How many names
to
put
it here? Oh, we are not same.
I guess some people are bringing in some messages here. So how many names do you have? 20. So we actually have 2 people. Let's do a tiebreaker here. Let me give you a question to go and look for somebody as well. So you failed your question. Let's see if he fails his. Okay. All right. So we have here somebody that can push start or clutch start a manual car, right? So I would have you go and look for a Tayo. Yeah, a Tayo.
Italian, everybody guy.
Okay, they said you know everybody. Let me give you another one. This person has slept off during an online service. Imo. Oh,
Wow.
I can't help you guys. He wins. So you're gonna get your gift afterwards. Thank you very much. So
Better
right
luck
about
next time,
now, let's give him a round of applause. Thank you.
Awesome.
How many? 23.
23.
23.
No, the game is over. You're not quickly talking. Sorry.
Wow, all right. So right about now, we're going to have a video come up on the screens, and we're just going to look up to that.
Is a man brave? Is a man a protector?
We are overcomers by nature, but whatever we love, we will fiercely protect.
A lot of women like men to be masculine.
Is a man a hero? Is a man vulnerable?
Let me tell you how you know you are with a Jesus guy.
This gender where I did.
As a Y chromosome, Adam's apple advocate.
Nice.
Wonderful
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
Beautiful.
That was who enjoyed that? Yeah, cool. So we're just going to talk. I'm just going to say a few things, right, about steel men, and some people are probably here for the first time, or you've been coming around. It's kind of a big deal that, despite the fact that David was a king, and a prolific warrior, he was still able to anchor his life on God being his shepherd, right? We all know the story of David. Despite his strength, he often put himself, in the care of God, who was his shepherd. And it did not matter, it does not matter, right, how much he was able to defend himself. Without God's guidance, he knew he wouldn't survive, right? As strong as he was, we are men, macho. I look at Toby here, and so without God's guidance, he knew he wouldn't survive. As strong as he was still a man, right? The men of today we are not so different. In a world of growing noise and uncertainty, we often feel the pressures, to soldier on and as brave men, as fathers, as leaders. But we need to remember that God, the good shepherd, still guides us, that he still empowers us. So we have still men, right? Still men was established with that goal in mind, to be a platform for everyday men, for the everyday man in every way, to find strength, to find renewal, to find courage, to find community, to find safety, to find leadership for our lives, and even in learning how to lead, people in our lives, in finding freedom, finding support in the people and the community around us. And this year at Steel Men Conference, we're going to be using this every opportunity to remind ourselves as men that we are still led, right? Still led as in STILL. Thank you.
Wonderful. Welcome again, everybody. Welcome if you're watching, or if you're following us online. Welcome. I hope you're having a good time. We on site are having such a good time. we've bonded, we've played games, you know. It's about to get better. I like what Kizo was saying. He said we often feel the pressure to soldier on, you know. I mean, it happens to all of us, but that's why we also come around, you know. This place where there's no pressure. I mean, people are casting themselves to you guys. Yeah, I've been arrested before. Where we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, you know, have real conversations that would help us, you know, soldier on in a more healthy way, right, when we get back out there. So we'll be having, I was going to say a roundtable talk, but I see that there's no table on stage. We'll be having a conversation. I'll just be inviting up a few people. You may know, you may not, but please feel free. I think we would have time for questions as well. I guess that, you know, writing materials and all of that will go around. But these are moments where we just want to really allow ourselves to be children and, you know, be as vulnerable as we can be so that we can be helped. Right? We're still led. So join me in welcoming upstage Pastor Tolulope. It's not like you didn't know before. You're just waiting for. Let's keep clapping, keep clapping. Keep clapping. I welcome Mr. Bayo Ajayi as well. Mr. Toba Oyebamiji. Yeah, keep going, keep it going. You're not tired now, I mean. It's not true. And of course, my humble self. Welcome. You say what makes me humble. Welcome, everybody. I guess we can just have. So cold.
Sorry. Who's to start?
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Semi-circle table. All right. But we'll start already. So we'll have maybe everybody just Pastor Tolu. We'll have everybody just introduce themselves and then tell us like the season of life you're in.
By season, you mean?
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Season? Was it relationship season?
A relationship season or...
Toby's in a relationship now. I'm helping you now.
I knew it.
Okay.
I knew.
So he's Toby Salako. He's now dating.
Ouch.
Yes, I mean, I want to be vulnerable with you guys, so I'm not trying to hide.
Why are you emphasizing vulnerability? Oh, yeah, have you had sex?
Because I wasn't good.
The way you're shouting the word, you say you just want to be, you're so emphasizing it.
You're right.
My name is Ajayi Adebayo, and I'm married.
How long?
Wait. This is June.
I hope your wife is watching.
So that's 10 months.
10 months.
10 months.
Okay. So I'm Toba, and I'm also in a relationship. So, yeah.
Just did like this. What does that mean?
Well, I mean, we're the only ones not married here.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm Tolu. I am married. This year makes it 9 years.
Oof. That deserves some. If you can celebrate that.
That's quite.
Okay. So off of that, let's get right into it. So what we're trying to do is just to build out something, right? So Toby, have you ever been in this thing where you are expected as the man to just take the lead, like be ahead, be the strong one? Are you following? All right, and then we feel like there's this thing where you are just set up that there's a rat in the house. You are the man in the house. If we peradventure find a snake somewhere, you are the man of the house. And I think that could come with some pressure. Right? So, have you ever been in that position? And how are you coping with all of that?
You say, how am I coping? Like it's present continuous.
All right.
Yeah, you're right. It's actually present continuous. Yes. More. I mean, I know I told you guys I'm in a relationship and everything, but it's just like 2 months. So maybe not in that context. But I do have sisters, right? And
yeah, Toby's an only boy, so that's masculine pressure.
Oh my God.
No, just for context now, you are the only boy. You have sisters, all sisters.
Yes.
How about you, Toba?
2. I just 2, myself and my brother.
Okay, 2 guys. Okay, you?
It's a mix. Myself, my brother.
Okay. I have 3 brothers. I grew up like all boys. So you would feel the pressure more because you have sisters.
So I learned to just be scarce.
How do you create scarcity though?
Just time your walk. Take a walk. Nothing harmful about taking a walk. Nothing harmful about being on an important
But does
call.
that make you feel like you're running away sometimes?
Sometimes it does. So truthfully, I mean, the whole man up thing, very cliche, but very common. Something wrong with the light. It's me that should go and put my hand inside, things like that. Yeah, it does. It does put some type of pressure. But I also think that I've gotten so used to it, now I don't even think about it anymore. Like, now that it's coming up, I'm not like, oh, that's true. There's some pressure there. But honestly, it's like something that I live with every day. So,
But what do you guys, if I can ask, what do you guys think about guys that, would typically run away? Like, maybe we shouldn't use the word run away, but okay, somebody needs to change the lights. Well, I won't be the one. Somebody needs to, maybe my babe will pay for the date. Maybe what do you think? Is it wrong, or is it just like, well, it doesn't really matter? Does the guy have to be in the, front line, all of that?
So I think that maybe with some of those things, I would say it's in some way one of the things that like just push. I think it pushes us to responsibility. All right. So, and I think that maybe sometimes those things are even deliberate from people that do them. I've had my dad make me like do the most interesting things because he just feels like. So there's that space that comes with you should like toughen up a little bit. And of course, I'm not saying that you should just now become hard guy, like you are like hard for food. But I'm just saying that there should just be that space of responsibility that you are coming to, and it's pulling you into all of that. So I would say don't run away from all of that. I would say give yourself more to it because it's building some sort of responsibility out of you. In the little things of you getting to fix all of that over time, because sometimes even in our lives, we definitely have things that we have to get around to fixing even on a daily basis. So that calls us to that place of don't back out of this, right? You wouldn't give up on this. You can go again one more day. Even if you go and you don't get it right, you can go again one more day. And that's why sometimes I even think when they push us to some of these things, I know that there was a time I was even really scared of wall geckos, and my mom would still, but over time, I think that was just, as small as it was, it kind of pushed me into that space.
Okay, so let's do an audience check. How many people here, you've ever killed a snake? Let's go the other way. You've never killed a snake. Raise up your hand.
Guys, let's just go. Come and take over.
How many of you here have never changed a tire of the car? Never changed a tire.
Stop talking about.
Yeah. Okay. You're single? Okay. What when the pressure is financial pressure? Let's just go straight for it.
Context.
Toba, we're not asking you now.
Looks like you guys are talking about me. First of all, one of my greatest fears is getting married and there's a snake in the house. I think I would run first.
We will both run, then we will call somebody to exterminate, and then we'll come back into the house.
Wow.
Can't help.
So one night. So let me give you guys a story. One night, sorry, Toba, just a minute. this was, I think I even maybe talked about it at some point in church, but this was maybe last year, maybe early last year, like 2 a.m. I just hear my wife shouting, babe, babe, babe. The house we're living in, I was in, this is maybe 2 years ago. The house we're living in, I was in the study. I had the study. I was working. This is like 2 a.m. My wife is just shouting, baby. So there's like a place in between. I come out, and then my wife just says that, and I just look, and I see this bat flying. Bat. So, bat. So I'm like, okay, babe, like just go into the kids' room. Like, just go into the kids' room and lock yourself in there. So she was like, but one flew this way. So she was like, look at it. Then we saw another one fly. So there are even two. So you know when you're still trying to tell yourself, maybe it's one window that was open. But bat. 2 a.m. So I'm just trying to say sometimes it's like snake that you call for fumigation. Sometimes it's bat. You know? And they came a few other times, maybe like 2 or 3 times, but that's not for today.
How did you undo that?
No. That's why
Don't worry about that.
That's why you're the guy. Yeah. So the first night, I kind of, I actually realized the more I was trying to hit the thing was moving one way. So it kind of went into, there was this small room. I pushed them in, locked the door, made sure they couldn't come out. I got both of them in there. And then I told my wife that, she should free that. I've trapped them somewhere, that tomorrow morning I would. And then I passed. But in the morning I now got there. I didn't see them. I checked all day. There was no open window, nothing. I didn't see them.
That type.
So I said it's that time. So
it's either it's that type or your husband is really a man of God.
If it's the man of God part, they won't come back. They still came back. I know they came back. They came back like maybe like another 2 times. But then again, and which, so like I think the next time there was one I think I killed. I can't remember this too well, but I know they came back like twice. And then after like the second, I know I got angry. Like, they'll be calling me in my house, bat is flying. I'll be like an idiot. You're chasing this kid, your children, you're telling them, go away, I'm coming. So I know I had to like really go and pray, and they never came back again.
Right. Okay, so we've just had this conversation about maybe how this thing of maybe just pushing you to responsibility toughens you. Right, but I want to find out what's vulnerability like, right? In that space where you have to be tough, but yet you still want to be able to be vulnerable, especially to people around you. Because
what do you mean by vulnerability, though?
Just opening up. So the fact that you have gone through these processes can just get you to a point where you are just like, really the hard guy. Hard guy know they cry. You don't know they cry. You get that kind of thing, and then it just pushes you to that point where you are just like hard and all that. How does that person who has gone through that process get to a point where they can now really be opening up to vulnerability, people being able to reach in, really help, ask for help when you need it? Just get help within the spaces of Christian men. Look at me. Yeah, Toby. Toby, you come.
Toby.
We're all looking at Toba.
Okay.
I don't think vulnerability is something that just comes upon you. Like if you grow up like that, or if you're used to, it doesn't just happen. Right? I think how it happened for me is that I did have opportunities where I was invited to it, right? To be vulnerable. It's not like I just woke up one day and decided, hey, I want to be vulnerable. There was just a space, and honestly, I found it in Sycamore Church. Before I couldn't hug guys, but if you know PTM,
I don't understand. You that will come and look for me and tell me.
But yeah, I found it in Sycamore Church, and it was just this thing of the environment invited me, to be that way. And of course, it didn't happen the first time I came or the second time I came. Or, the first few people I met. It was just something over time, I don't want to put it as something broke. No, I just think perspective was realigning in some way. I was learning to put what is here, and what is there. If you understand what I mean, hopefully.
Yeah, if I got your question well, though, I think sometimes we can differentiate between what you need to do in a moment and the process that you're walking. Sometimes I think they're two different things. By that I mean, many times as a guy, the truth is, the way God has designed it, and whether it's in terms of the husband and the wife, or even just societally generally, the man and women, the truth is that the Bible talks about the husband being, the savior of the body, of the wife, Christ as the picture of the man, dying for his bride. So there's that sense of the man is designed to carry it, if you get what I mean, right? Yeah. And I think it's a real thing, and I think as a man, you shouldn't run away from that. Like, putting your head in, being responsible, carrying it, and all of that, owning the responsibility of being a man. But I think there's a difference between what I need to do in a moment and the process that I'm walking. So when it comes to questions like vulnerability and getting help and all of that, I think it's a wider conversation. So I would rather be looking at my life, as a general framework. So what I mean is, if I'm saying one night there's like a crisis in my home, I want to be the guy that will stand up for the moment, right? I don't want to throw my wife under the bus, or me and my children are all running together. I don't want to be that kind of guy. But that doesn't mean that that's the entire picture of my life. That doesn't mean tomorrow I'm not getting help where I need to get it. That doesn't mean that I'm not getting out of that moment and calling somebody and saying, man, I need help. Do you understand? So I think there's a difference between what you need to stand up to in a moment as a guy, what you need to carry. The problem is when we then take that posture and imagine that that's a statement of everything about life. Like the entirety of my life, there's nowhere where I get to be vulnerable. There's nowhere where I ever say I need help. There's nowhere where there's no time, there's no moment. But so I think it's the difference between moments and processes that, if I got your question well, that would be the wisdom.
Definitely. That's real good. Toba?
Yeah, well, I think I agree with Pastor Tolu. It's just, well, of course, yeah, sure, I agree. But I also think that sometimes it's not that easy, especially if you have a certain background where you've been maybe if you are the first son or something, and you've always, maybe you grew up, you were always the one people came to, like growing up, so you were always at the receiving end of helping people. So, that means you don't exactly have people that like people are vulnerable to you, but not exactly you too. So, growing up that way is kind of a little difficult to, open up to people because you've always been at the receiving end. So, in a way, you've kind of built yourself to always receive.
The shock absorber.
Exactly, not the person. So, I think, in a way, I know that for me, it's not exactly easy for me to just, open up to people. To take a lot of bonding for me to just, talk about how I feel about things and all that. So, and then, just like the art guy, they cry and all that. So I think also the context kind of matters. In a relationship, for example, you obviously don't want to be like the crybaby. You want to be the shoulder that's... So... Something came to my mind now, but I totally didn't mean that. That was just, I don't know why that came out that way. I didn't mean it like that. But I'm sure that we understand what I mean. So in a way, also manning up, or in an attempt to man up sometimes, that it becomes difficult to be vulnerable because you're supposed to be the one that, you're supposed to give the shoulder and all that. So, well, just like you explained, I think that we should not confuse what you need to do in a moment with the processes. So I think that kind of just answers that.
I think
can I chip in something? Sorry, there's something I learned from my wife. She's been telling me this recently, and because honestly, so when Toba was saying that, of course, maybe he shaded me, I don't know, but so when I started dating my wife, I'm the one that cries. She just doesn't. It took how many years before I ever saw her cry? Maybe 6 years of being together before I ever saw her cry. The first time we had a misunderstanding and we're trying to talk about it, and I was like, I'm sorry, and I started crying, she's, so we kind of have that. But maybe even more than just things like crying, maybe things like, there's some things that don't come natural for me, that sometimes there's that expectation and all of that. Some things don't necessarily come natural, and all. But my wife always says this thing, she's been saying this to me a lot lately, and just about guys generally. She would say that the areas where you're strong, be very strong, all right? So it's one thing to say, man, I'm not the kind of guy that can change the bulb or something like it does, or I can kill a wall gecko or something. Okay, fine, maybe whatever. I know guys that can't see blood. Do you get? So something happens, they just cringe. There was a guy in my house, I don't mention his name, but they were killing fish. Blood of fish came out, gets like this, and they ran away. Fish, right? Okay, fine, I get, But the areas where you are strong, can we see such strength? So it's not like you're a weak guy, as much as it's that this is not what you're cut out for. Do you get the difference, right? So there's a difference between the person that is running away versus the person that, well, this is just not my strong area, or this doesn't come natural. So just that emphasis of, I'm not saying you'll be everything, but let's see a kind of guy that where you are, man, we can tick the boxes and say, man, you are extra strong where you are strong. You're not a runaway guy, you're a strong guy. It's just that this is not your typical kind of thing. I think there would be a big difference.
Thank you so much. That was really good. Yeah. So just a quick one. So we've had a bit of conversation, and Pastor mentioned something earlier about finances. But just want to drop a quick one in. This is 2023, right? Where is a chill spot? Because we know that in 2023, there is a number of places that a Christian guy can, just go and say he wants to hang out, just chill. What are number one? Affordable and okay places for us to go, if you would speak.
Chill places?
Yes. That we can go. Where we say when you reach there, it's not like you are...
Affordable is relative now.
Yes, I agree.
Well...
Let the poor breathe.
Yeah.
What's your budget? Let's start from there. What's your budget?
Say 5K.
Yeah, I'm not ready.
I'm not ready.
Are you going alone?
Okay. Say we drop the budget to...
Wait, am I going? Are you going alone or you have a plus one?
Maybe you have a plus.
Maybe 5K.
5K.
Botanical garden.
Just stay at home and order like shawarma.
Yeah, hexagon for 2.
Exactly.
No, but the truth is you can go anywhere and go and trek now. You buy some
ice cream or something. With your guy?
Is it okay? You mean with your guy? Or?
Yeah. So you want to chill as a Christian guy. You want to go out with your guy.
Come to church. Keep
we
the
don't
5K as offering.
Nice.
Idea.
All right. Okay. So yeah, I know that we're in this conversation of finance, and then we're getting around it a little bit. But rather than just have us alone speaking to this, we have somebody in the building who we believe is a specialist in that space. He has wisdom tips to give to us, and then we would welcome up right now Mr. Oresanya to join us. Okay, welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. Okay. So and I'm speaking maybe in the generality of men now, so we kind of happen to feel that there's that space of, say you're in your early 20s, and there's just that rush of, let's make this money. Like this, especially in it's a pressure that we deal with in the day-to-day. It's a pressure that we deal with in the day-to-day. I don't know if you experienced that, and if you did, maybe what were ways that you coped with that? It's something we see really.
Okay, I think I would. My name is Tijesun, by the way. I think I would go back to where Toba said something about background. So maybe for me, I didn't have the background that was pushing me to say I need to make it. No. Like there was really nothing to make it. I'm not from a rich background. I mean, I'm not from a silver spoon background. But then there was no. I mean, whatever it is that we needed, we had. So maybe that drive was not there. So there's the background part to it. But then this time that we live in, because of social media, I mean, that pressure is a lot more. I mean, to make it. Sometimes you see somebody that is just still in school and he's already talking about, I want to make my first million. And I'm like, I mean, You should just open your book and be reading. Go to the OT and go and study. You are talking about your first million. But it's the times that we live in. And I think in my head that pressure don't necessarily turn into you actually making it fast enough. I mean, sometimes you just get to overwork yourself, overpush yourself, and push yourself beyond the limits that you can even accommodate. And I mean that not just in terms of your physical health, I mean also your spiritual health. So when you put that kind of thing in your head, I want to make it, there's a process to, I mean, we were talking about process the other time. There's a process to it. You don't just see somebody that's been at it for a couple of years, but you did not know the background, the story, all those years. And you want to be that kind of person instantly. And that's the problem that we have at this age. And that's the reason why you have a lot of Yahoo boys and they bloom in the economy. It's an economy on its own. Crazy economy on its own now. I don't know the value, but it's a very huge economy. Do you understand? And that's the reason, because you see young people, you see secondary school people that want to, have their first car before they leave secondary school. And you're like, the people that you are looking at have been working at it for a long time. But you just see this thing happening to them and you think it was just instant. And we can't have it instantly. When you even push yourself that much and you get the stuff instantly, you can't keep it. Because the foundation required to have made it legitimately and keep it, you don't even have that understanding of how to keep the finance. You don't have it. So you just did whatever it is that you had to do and you got whatever you had to get. And then you don't even have the maturity on how to spend money, which is why you see people going to clubs and you see their receipts and you see someone is spending 6 million naira in a night. And the only reason why they are doing that is so they can come on social media and post that they spent 6 million naira a night. That's not the reason you are making money. That's not a reason to make money. I don't want to make money because I want to come to social media and post and say, I can afford this. There are better things to do with money than that. My worth should not be in the money I'm making. I mean, that's the way I see it. So the push was not there, for us at the time. It's there now. But I don't think as young people we should allow that even in our time and generation. The guys that we think are going ahead of us now, let them go. They can't go beyond a certain level with the knowledge that they have. Do you understand? So there's no need to rush and say, this guy is making it, this guy is doing this, this guy just bought his second car and I don't even have a bike yet. Give it time, process.
Sorry, can I tweak a little? And what you said, so true. But now, if I bring it in more from the point of the necessity of survival. So this is a young man. I'm not competing with anybody. I'm not. Maybe I'm trying to think of shoes I have been in. I'm not trying to make anything because someone has it, but sometimes the poor want to breathe. Don't want to be suffocated. We want to breathe like necessity, almost like. So there's that part of honestly, people just for the wrong reasons. But how about it's a tough world? Yeah, I'm finishing school. I'm in school sometimes, and the truth is, there's real financial pressure. I can do with making some money. Then the second part again that if you would speak into also is how then do I find the balance between I get wrong ambition, but good ambition. Like maybe I have a business idea. Shouldn't I be driven to really I want my business to make it, for example. I want to record as much profit as I can. I want to scale things up. I want to be profitable. I want to, not for the wrong reasons, to be honest, but just out of a sense of stewardship and all. In this day, I don't know if you would.
Okay, so in my head, I'm thinking, I want money for the good reasons. Even for the bare minimum, you need money these days in Nigeria. Fuel is 500 naira. To drive to Ibadan and go back to Lagos, I would have to spend about 20K, 25K on fuel. Wow. So I need money. Yeah. So it's not like I don't want money. And but then the thing again is, because I have the right mindset, meaning that I understand that there's a process to it. I know that I can't get this thing instantly, and I know that there's a building I have to do, meaning that I would have to try and seek the knowledge I require to build or to get more. It means that I'd have to learn about disciplines I need to inculcate into my life. I can't say I want to build wealth. I'm earning 150K and I'm doing clubs every night, or I'm eating out every day. I mean, you sit down and say, okay, yeah, this is, so the challenge is understanding where you are. This is where I am now. This is where I am. This is where I want to get to, of course, for the right reasons. Then what do I need to do to get there? People that, the other guys that we spoke about, don't think about how to get there. I just want to get there now and do all of these things. But for me, that I know that, okay, I have dreams. I have things that I'm trying to build. It makes me sit and say, okay, what is it that I can do from what I have now? Nice. There's always something that we have. That's just the truth. No matter how poor you are, there's something that you have that you can work with and build from. And I mean, steadily climb up. It might not be a huge step per time, but you know, steadily you are climbing up, and then in a few years you look back and you're like, thank God we are not where we used to be. So I think in that sense, yeah, there's nothing wrong with wanting more. As a Christian, you should even want more, because there's a lot that God has in store for us. And so you should want more to achieve all of that thing. The church needs money. I mean,
sure. The kingdom of God.
Kingdom of God needs money. So, I mean, so we should make the money. You don't expect outsiders to come and fund the kingdom. We should be the ones funding the kingdom. And so it would be very wrong to be a mediocre and say, well, let me just be content with whatever it is, Abby. We are eating eba with one fish. Let's just keep doing that, and we are surviving. No, you should aim to achieve more, aim to, you know, grow your wealth and all of that. But then you should also understand that there's a process to it. Then let me sit down and find out what do I need to get from point A to point B. Nice. Which I think is missing this day.
All right. While you were speaking, you mentioned something. You touched specifically on something around discipline. Right, so I want you to speak a bit more into that space, specifically about, because some people have this notion that men don't know how to spend, or maybe let's say some men don't know how to spend, because I believe that there are some men that are also very good at it, very prudent, like the kid. But maybe in the area of discipline, in terms of like working with a budget, planning to save and things like that, that you know can project you in that story of I'm on a process, I'm working a journey.
Okay, so I mean, I'll go into that, but then I just remember that sometimes ago I read an article online. I can't remember the exact figures now, but I remember that they said the world richest or the wealthiest people in the world, 87% of them are married. And 67% of those 87% are in their first marriages. So I'm saying this to mean that, okay, then there was a second article I read at the same time that stated that married guys build wealth faster, 93% faster than single
Are you taking
guys.
notes?
Wow. Yeah. These are research. So this second research I quoted was done over a period of 15 years in the US. So, I mean, I get 93% chance.
Somebody is saying that they're not Nigerian girls.
Well, maybe that. But then I'm saying that to say that, you know, we want to say, a lot of times we say, let's get this wealth before we get married and all of that. To me, I don't see why.
That's true.
So I started working, after training school for 4 months training school. I was posted to start working April 2012. I got married less than a year after. And when I was getting married then, people were like, I mean, you don't want to enjoy your life. You just got started with work. I mean, you are just making money. You should enjoy your life. And I'm like, what life do I want to enjoy? Okay, yeah, I have money as an ET in a GT bank at the time. So how do I enjoy the money? I mean, I have somebody that has been there for like God knows how long. That's the way to enjoy my money. And so I just got married.
Wow.
Don't just say, go and do likewise.
So my point is, a lot of times we are saying, I want to make this money because I want to get this level of wealth or stability before I take this next step. But I think you can take this step once the basic things are covered. So you have a regular income. So what I used to tell people then was, if you have something that is steady, regardless of the amount, you know that this thing comes in regularly at this particular frequency. So maybe weekly or monthly or whatever. You are sure that this particular amount comes in this particular frequency. You can sit down and plan on that. Do you understand? So you need to just sit down and cut. So I earn more now in Naira, though I earn less in dollars than when I started working in Nigeria. So I just need to sit down and say, okay, this is what I have right now. This is what my basics need. Okay, I need to eat. I need to get to work. My wife needs to eat. My children need to eat. For people that are married, and if you are planning to marry, of course, the girl will need to eat. Can this thing accommodate those basic things? If it can, then you can come together and build from there. The reason why, so imagine a single guy, then you have your girl and all of that. You know, if you put your resources together from the start, there's a whole lot you can do than the way you spend as single people. And that is what people don't understand. There's a whole lot you can do together than when you are doing it as single people. And so from there, you can build from there, and in no time, you'll be where you want to be. And even when you now get there, you'll be aspiring for something more. So it keeps moving. So to the disciplines, you were talking about budgeting. Budgeting is fantastic, and we should budget. I always advise zero budgeting. Like zero budgeting means that nothing is left unaccounted for. So I earn 100 naira. From before the 100 naira comes, I already have something listed that says how every of the penny in the 100 naira is going to go. Meaning that at the end of the day, when I'm done with my budget and I sum it together and what came in minus all those things, I should land in zero.
On a zero.
The reason is because if you leave anything to chance, chance will always come. That's just the thing. It will always happen. A lot of things will happen. Somebody will say, ceremonies, come and buy Ashwebi. And it's good to felicitate with people, but then there are times that these things are not necessary. A lot of times that they are not necessary. And we want to kill ourselves on that. So when you are doing your zero budgeting, one thing that is also important is that you don't spend to save. You don't spend and save. You save and spend. So it's just like your tithe. So there are things, for example, my own family now, there are things that, in Nigerian finance, there are things that they call, there are some allocations that are statutory. Like you can't do anything about it. FAC, JAC, they are statutory. So there are things that you should take as statutory in your family finance or in your personal finance too. So, the first is your tithe. So from when we got married, tithe is the first thing. Like you don't have a choice. Then the next thing should be, if you do that, I encourage you to do that, money to your parents. Do you understand? So I will say something about that. The reason I say it should be statutory is because, so at some point in time in our life, we used to do that. Tithe, money to our parents, then expense and all of those things. But there was a time that we thought we needed money. There was a particular month in 2013 or 2014, I can't remember, that we thought we needed money and all of that. And I reduced, I don't want to say we because it was me that did that naughty thing. So I reduced the money I sent to my dad by, I think, 10K or something. And I did that before telling my wife because I knew she was not going to agree. And it was because we thought we needed money. So, we did that and I told her, okay, this was what I sent to Dad, because we needed this. But the thing is, that 10K was not going to meet the so-called needs that I removed it for. It was way less than what we needed. So my wife now told me something at that time that those kind of monies, we should treat it the way we treat tithes. We are not removing it. If we need money, let's do all of those things. Because I would not go and meet my wife and tell my wife that, okay, this title, this month is, 500 naira per liter. Don't you think we should? I will not say that, no. So those are the things that we should, so those kind of things, tithes, money to my parents or our parents, money to our leaders, church leaders, take them as statutory. Do you understand? Then whatever is left, now we sit and say, okay, of course, like I said, save before you spend. Because the reason is because, by the time you list out everything that you need to do, there will be nothing left to save. And it's important to save, even though, people say you save for a raining day. Sometimes it will not be a raining day that will come. It will be a very stormy day. But then when that storm comes, at least the raining day money can, cushion, help you push, do you understand? And God is our provider. I believe that. But then God expects us to plan too. So when you, every month, put something aside, no matter how little. So like I said, it's just about discipline. So it's not about the amount. I would love that you work with a percentage of all of these things. But then you could start with a 1% or 2% or whatever it is that works, that you can do consistently. You remember that what we are trying to do is to build a discipline of savings. That, okay, I know that when this money comes in, we have built a discipline of paying my tithe first, giving this out for whatever it is. I should also build a discipline of saving. And once I'm done with that, like I said, forget about the amount, but be sure that you are doing it consistently for a long period. Habits are built over a long period. That you know that when money comes in, I have to also put something apart to, as savings and all of that. So those are disciplines that you should build. Then again, you don't now need to now say that because I'm trying to save, I'm trying to, work around my finances, that you now don't get to enjoy your life. Please, you will die, your next of kin will get the money, and they will blow it. Usually, next of kings usually don't think the way you think about money. We would spend it by the special grace of God. So that's the way it is. So once in a while, take your wife out if you have a wife. If you have, you're in a relationship, take your babe out. Don't say, babe, let's just be praying. And this is about, they said in courtship, don't always just go out and eat out. Know yourself and discover, the way it is, discover purpose. Yes, discover purpose. Or you can be discovering that purpose in a very, very serene restaurant and all of those once in a while. So you don't just say that because I'm trying to save, I'm trying to build wealth, then I don't get to do some of these things that, build. Because in whatever it is that you are building, so you are trying to build relationship with your spouse or your girlfriend, then relationship with your fellow men. There are things that those relationships would do in your life in helping you build wealth. There are times that it's just a call to somebody that would give you that access to whatever it is that would get you to that place that you've been eyeing.
Yeah.
And the call to that person, maybe it's somebody that you've had lunch with one time that you just invite. And that is it.
Yeah.
In the world of business, a lot of the deals, in fact, in the world of politics, everything that is affecting us seated here are not discussed in formal environments. No, they are not. They are discussed outside where, it's just places where they just, do you understand what I'm trying to say? So at times, we need to also use its investments. Whatever monies you are spending, you are investing in relationships that can, be helpful and useful later in life for you.
So where you even go is an investment.
Yes, it is. Right. It's an investment. Just don't make it like that's your life. Don't make it a lifestyle like, today is Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Every Friday, every week. No.
Sorry, if I can. Okay, you wanted to.
Yeah. Oh, you talked around savings and all that. I just have a question actually. Sometimes it is those savings that save us. Like, you are planning, you are saving, but then the savings end up saving you.
But imagine that you did not save the first time.
Okay, yeah. So I want to ask, how do you handle, for example, sudden economic
downturn.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, I mean,
Now.
it means, so it kind of means like your earnings don't weigh as much as, I mean, you've had plans around your constant earnings, and then there's a sudden increase in fuel and it affects everything. So, I mean, you've budgeted, you've had plans for maybe like the next month, and so how do you handle like unforeseen
circumstances?
Yeah.
So you know that when you are budgeting, there are things that are urgent and important. There are things that are important and not urgent. There are things that are not important, not urgent. You have like 4 categories like that. So what you go back to is, I mean, when things like that happen, things like is happening now, when they happen, you go back to the budget and start cutting from not urgent, not important, to important but not urgent. I mean, that's the way you start cutting them to urgent. I mean, till you get to urgent and important. Do you understand? So a lot of the times, there are things that are not, that we think we need for survival. Like Pastor said, currently where we are in Nigeria now, everybody's in a survival mood. We want to just survive first. This time we pass. Do you understand? But it will not be okay that when the time passes, you are not around to enjoy the time that came. So the first thing is, let us even survive this time. So if I'm surviving this time, the first thing I want to do is, do I need to... I have shoes I'm wearing already to work now. I mean, nobody's complaining. It's not important, it's not urgent. Do you understand? But then, food is important, food is urgent. You have kids that you want to feed. You won't tell them that, say, you know, that it's now bad. We are doing economic policy to, you know, drive up the naira value and all of that. They don't understand that. I mean, my boys will not tell me that they understand that I'm saying that what Tinubu, all the things that Tinubu did in the first week is actually correct economically. It is, maybe, but then the impact on us is hard. And I can't be explaining to them that there are times that you need to sacrifice to, you know, attain the promise and all of those things. I mean, I'm not talking to adults. They need to eat, and they need to eat now. So those things, I can't cut down on those things. But things that I can cut down on, I already have a laptop I'm using for my work, for example. But because I think I've been working, you know, there are times that you think that I've been doing this work for a long time now. Let me reward myself with a MacBook. I mean, this time, let the MacBook wait till Naira crashes. So those are the things that you can remove and all of those things. Savings is important. Savings is important, but you can decide that because it's a discipline that you're trying to build, that you can cut down on your savings too. Because it's when you have money that you even save in the first place. You can decide that you want to cut down your savings, but don't stop saving. Do you understand? Don't stop saving. Like you said, I mean, January, February, March, April this year was tough for my family. And it was monies that we had saved that came to... I don't owe anybody. We don't owe anybody now, right now. We don't owe anybody anything. But during the 3 months that I said, we spent nothing less than maybe 3 million naira, close to 3 million naira, that needed to be spent. We didn't buy a house or a land. 3 million can't buy a house. We didn't buy anything very, but they needed to be spent so that we could have a family. Do you understand? But then, if we didn't have that savings then, there would be nothing to run back to. So that means I would probably go to borrow and all of those things. But it was because we had that habit. Yeah, right now, savings is like almost zero. In fact, savings is zero. I don't think we have anything. Do you understand? But then, it came in handy then. We built it back by God's grace. And then we are hoping that nothing will come again to wipe it out by God's grace. But I'm saying that build that culture. Let it be a culture first. Not necessarily even the amount that you are using, but let it be a culture. Yes.
So if I can just get some maybe like quick hacks. So if I can categorize and say different life seasons, and just in terms of how we think, and you know how, of course, probably how I am thinking is maybe different from how somebody who is a university student is thinking, just in terms of finance and all of that. It's probably different. So what I want to do is I want to just be mentioning some categories and then see if you can give us maybe just a quick finance hack, something you can really be thinking of where you are. Does that make sense? Can we try that? So let's say a university student. What would you say I can really be thinking right now?
For a university student, I think you should first focus on your studies, yeah, and 2, the digital economy.
Okay.
Digital economy, I mean, the world is going digital. So for today, I wish that we were this generation when we, and I mean, in retrospect, we actually had the chance, because I sit down now and I'm remembering that when I was in part 2 or part 3, somebody told me to come and learn HTML and CSS. And in fact, I mean, I had a printer in my house then. I even printed the ebook that the guy sent then. I'm sure if I go to my dad's house, I'll still see the book that I printed. But I looked at it for a couple of days, then dropped it. Do you understand? But then, the guy is doing well as a tech person now in Canada. And I'm here in Tinubu's Nigeria. And all of that. But then, I mean, Nigeria is going to be good. But I'm saying that, so for a university student, your studies, and the reason I say your studies is, you probably will not use your certificate to do anything. I mean, most of the times, I studied animal science. I'd never practiced animal science. I will never practice animal science. However, yes, I won't. I mean, why? However, there are doors that were opened just because. So I got my first job. I'm in my second job now. I got my first job from the university. And it was just because I had a particular CGPA. Simple. They didn't ask for the course you studied. They just came to you and said, people with CGPA from this level and above, tell them to come and write tests. And we went to write tests. And that was it. So if I did not focus on my study because I wanted to build wealth, that opportunity would have been closed. So I think for a university student, it's just 4 years or 5 years. I mean, if you're not a doctor, just do that. Why we are also trying to, because of the climate that we have now, focus on something digital that you can learn, even if you will not use it. Sincerely, the world has become very digital, and I think we should all take advantage of that. But for a university student, you have resources flowing around you, and you have some time. I mean, you have lesser pressure on your time in terms of on your time and even finances. So I think you can focus on your academics and, of course, digital economy. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. Let's do I don't know if you guys have any categories, but let's do I'm working my first job. I've just started earning. I'm breathing a little, not necessarily too much, but I'm sure I now know I'm out of school.
Okay.
That kind of
So if you are not married, what you should also focus on for that category is a girl. Focus on a girl. And when you are focusing on a girl...
Multiples can be...
No, don't do that to yourself. So a girl. And when you are looking at a girl, you should look for a kind and considerate girl. So I always say that so for a guy, what you need in a wife is somebody that is kind and considerate. Do you understand? It's not somebody that would push you to your death in trying to be okay with herself. And I get that is what we have outside in Nigeria today, not in here. So I think focus on getting a very good girl that would help you build together. Then secondly, very important, is investment. Like we said, there are a lot of things that are happening now, digital economy. There are a lot of investment platforms, Bamboo, and so I can decide that I want to own a part of a company in the US, and I'd never stepped in the US with just $5. I mean, before now, to buy a share in a company like Google, you would need like maybe $200 and something. But I can decide, okay, I can't afford $200 and something. I can buy a portion. So when this when Tinubu economy started and all of that, I told you that we expended most of our monies and all that. But then, aside the savings that we had, my wife's wife, thankful for her, was also putting money into some of these investment platforms on Bamboo. So she was buying shares on Bamboo and all of that. So now it was just yesterday. So we needed money. I need to come to Ibadan. I didn't have money and all of that. And she just sent me money. So I was like, the money she has is me that will send to her now. She's not sending it. So I was now like, where did she get money? She was now telling me that, I know that some of the investments we had in Bamboo, they had grown by 112% or something. So she just took out the monies were there forgotten, because it was meant to just go there. It was meant to be a long-term thing. But now we needed it. So we didn't touch what we put in it. It was just the return on investment, ROI, that we just moved out. And she sent me money and I was able to come to Ibadan. I wasn't stranded in Lagos. So I'm saying, so for a fresh at a job kind of person, not married, you should be looking for a good girl. Very important. Then you should be investing no matter how little. Financial investment.
Let me do one last one. I'm trying to build a business.
You are trying to build a business. So if you are trying to build a business,
at whatever level of early success, either it's going good, or I'm trying to get it going.
Okay, so if it's so I'm looking at you trying to build a business as an SME kind of business, at least at the moment, like it's still a very small kind of business. So what I think you should be looking at first is people. People, because no matter, a business cannot grow more than the people that are in the business. So for a startup or for a SME business, I'm looking at what you should look at is how I should get people that can help me. Of course, you have a dream, you have a vision for that business, you have a drive. So what you need are the people that would come and help you. So people could be investors and they could actually be employees that would help you to, bring the vision that you have for that business to fruition. And you need money for business. So you need investors. So I think you should build on you should get to improve your skills on how to pitch your business, how to, talk to investors. And, it was last week or this week, I'm not sure. It was this week that Twitter went agog when Inyaboyiji said something. I don't know if people heard it. Inyaboyiji said that he does not know how to code. He cannot do hello world on any language. Inyaboyiji had built 2 unicorn tech companies and he cannot code. And when I read that from him, it wasn't like somebody said he cannot code. And he told us that he could not code. I sat down like, so how did this guy build? Luckily for me, there was a friend of Inyi that they grew up together that came to my dad's house last weekend. And I went to see him. We've not seen him in like 10 years. He was in Ghana. So, I now engaged the guy and said, your friend said he cannot code and blah, blah, blah. And the guy said something that, yeah, he cannot code, but he can talk to anybody and sell any business to anybody and you put your money in it. Simple. Nice. And that was the way he built Flutterwave, built Andela, and of course building Future Africa now. And I'm like, wow. So for somebody that is starting a business, you should find a way to build on that skill of, selling your business to people, getting them to put their money in your business, and of course, trusting you. People trust him, that's why they give him money, a lot of money. So for a small business owner, I think that's what you should be focusing on.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Please, can we celebrate Mr.
Thank you
for joining us this afternoon? Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. That was a lot of help all in one. So yeah, let's talk a bit back here. So thankfully, Toba is in a relationship. Toby's in a relationship. So guys, is finance something to consider going into Like, did you consider your finances, not your business, your finances going into like a relationship? Was that something that you were discussing? Toby. Toba.
Well, okay, so for me, we started dating when I was still in school. So, well, we just both finished. So, for myself, like, we're in the same class. So, you already... So, I mean, if you are considering finances, you are dating
But you both
someone...
graduated?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So, we just both graduated. So, going into the relationship, so apart from school, I had, like, a business I was doing. So, I had, like, a videography outfit, so I was just kind of starting out then. So, I feel like that gave me some kind of confidence that, I mean, as if you want to go to a not 5K restaurant now, so if you want to, like, maybe go out, I have something.
It's not shading everybody.
I'm not, oh my goodness.
It's not a 5K
Okay,
restaurant.
well, I mean, if I wanted to, like, well, personally, I think I kind of considered that if I was not earning something, I felt like it was not time to, because I had an idea of the kind of relationship I wanted to be in. I wanted to be able to, I mean, for back then, all I wanted to, like, all I needed money for was just, okay, maybe it's her birthday, so I want to, like, surprise her. I want to go out and all that while I was still in school. So that way I felt like I kind of needed to have an income. So fortunately, or thank God, so I had like a business that since I was earning not so much, but I mean something else was coming apart from my parents' allowance. So I was not relying on that to fund like some things that I needed to do in the relationship. So for me, I kind of considered that going into the relationship. No, that's not the point, but kind of, just like you said, if you are in school, maybe you should kind of maybe focus on like school, like that should be like part. So for me, I would say that we all have ideas of the kind of relation. Well, first of all, you say like you should get in with someone that is considerate, someone that is kind and considerate. So I also saw that like the person I was going into the relationship with was not going to pressure me to do all that. So if I didn't have like money on me, if I was relying on my parents, I think she would have been fine with that. But I was also, I mean, beyond that, I don't think she was looking for that because at that point I was not even making, it's not like I was making a lot of money. So it's not like she was looking for the money. So I saw that this was someone that didn't really exactly mind how much. But I mean, I was focusing on school, work, and business. So she also saw potential, I think. So even if you don't have the money yet, like you should have something that you are doing. Either you are focusing on your academic score so that, I mean, if you also finish with good grades, that already places you like a scale above like your peers, or have a business that you're also like building. And I think that so for a kind and considerate person, that's enough to get going, at least at the stage of maybe just finishing school or still being in school. So that's the thing.
But then I think, I mean, if anybody's thinking about a relationship, I think maybe just something to add is that, of course, because we're talking finance now, it makes it look like we're looking from the lens of finance, right? But maybe something to remember is that there are definitely many boxes that you're trying to bring together. So make sure that you are not getting blind to any because of this. So for example, the fact that you have a very successful business doesn't mean that you are emotionally mature. You can be very foolish but rich. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. And again, you can actually be very mature, but the money has just not yet caught up. So I would just say make sure you're thinking across board as you think about yourself, and don't let it be like there's just that one line through which you are seeing everything.
Perfect. Exactly what I was looking out for.
Then why do you say it?
Okay. All right, so we're having a bit of a conversation around relationships now, and then we don't just want it to be about us. We have people from the other side joining us. So we have ladies from the other side joining us this evening. Please, can we make welcome Dr. Adeoye Toyin and Mrs. Tony Agbaje this evening. And please, if you have questions, please keep clapping till they come. Keep clapping till they come. Keep clapping till they come. If you have questions, Yeah, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. Pass on the mic right to her. All right, so if you have questions, please, you can always
You're welcome. Good to see you guys.
document them. That's the reason why we gave you the cards. We wanted it for the game, and we wanted you to have
Okay, I'm pushing the mic around there to write questions.
the question. Yeah, they
Right.
can write.
Oh,
They
okay.
can write in the question. And
If you want to write,
if
where
you
do
want
they
the
pass
mic,
it
you
to?
can just raise your hand. We'll give you the mic right away. All right, welcome. Good to have you.
Can we meet you? Do you mind? Just tell us one sentence about yourself.
Okay, I'm Tony Agbaje. I'm married to a steel man.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
Good entry.
How long married?
About 2.5 years.
How long did you date before you married?
5 years.
Wow. What was the first thing about him that just made you say yes? What was it about him? Apart from the fact that he was a medical student.
I actually didn't want to marry him because he was a medical person. But I think, number one, he made me laugh a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what happens to guys that cannot make someone
They're not
laugh?
funny.
What do they do?
I'm not funny.
He makes you laugh. Wow.
Yeah, he made me laugh a
Wow.
lot.
Wow. Guys, go and look for jokes.
Pastor will be cracking joke. If you say it's not funny, you better take notes.
Wow, make her laugh. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, and he was just generally a very calm guy. Yeah.
Does he argue soccer? Does he do those kind of things?
He doesn't watch soccer, so I love that.
You like that. Wow, guys, what do we do about this? We will watch soccer. Okay. All right, thanks.
Hi, everybody. My name is popularly known as Toyin Adiri.
Is that not your name? So popularly known as. What is your name then? Wow. Okay.
I'm a yes girl.
Aww. Okay. Any more information
What are
that
you
you
people doing
volunteer
here?
or we ask you?
I'm dating this steel man.
Wow. Nice. How long?
10 months plus.
Wow. 10 months. What made you say yes?
His heart for people.
Wow.
And God.
Wow.
And how everybody had something good to say about him. So he wasn't like an isolated good person. He was generally known.
Yeah. Nice. And guys, we have to work on that part. So just to get to where okay, so generally people, so it wasn't just about him to you, it was also about him to others. That's deep. That's deep.
One quick one. All right, one quick one. You were saying something about him being open. People had good things to say about him. We were a bit in a conversation about finances. So did you in any way consider finances getting into it?
Yes.
To what extent?
Is it yeah?
Very much,
yeah.
Very much.
To what extent?
Okay, to what extent? We had conversation on the first date.
Wow. Nice.
So was it there was an amount he had to tick?
No.
Or the prospect matter?
Yes, prospect mattered.
Okay.
So.
Even if it's not cash in hand. But prospect.
Come in.
Nice.
And financial maturity?
Yes, there was that too. And I was more of, what are your goals? And where you are, is there a cap? Is there something, is there a ceiling we can break?
First date?
Yes.
Wow.
Nice.
He's a steel man. He's a steel man. He's a steel man.
Nice. Sorry, let me ask Mrs. Agbaje. I wish I could get to my... Okay. Sorry, just generally now, not your husband, but generally, let's talk about guys. Generally. So, 3 things that, you are going to date your husband, but maybe you see with guys generally, you are like, please, not my husband. That kind of a thing. Just generally, not necessarily guys here, just saying guys generally outside. But you are like, man, not my husband. I don't want these kind of things in. But I know it's a general guy thing, but I don't want this. Yeah.
Okay, maybe for me it was I didn't want a man that was going to restrict me in any way. That was very important for me because I I don't like saying this, but I'm a bit quite ambitious. And so it was very important to me that the man that I was going to be with was someone that was going to be comfortable enough for me to be the person I wanted to be. So I think that was really important to me. I didn't want a man that was just going to like, oh hi, I'm the man. I mean, I feel like there's some men that don't even want their women to probably hear more than them or do better than them or just because they are the men. So it was very important to me that the person I was going to marry was just going to be comfortable enough to be everything I was going to be without him feeling was hurting his male ego or wherever that
So
was.
good.
Yeah.
So good. So like a secure man.
Yes.
Oh, so good. So good. Tony, any on you? We're looking for three, actually, but you give us one. Any on you?
What she said.
We already know that.
Because some of us, we are not meant for small things. So it was important for me to be with somebody that was like loudest. Whether anymore, any point in time. Like it was. So I think one of the things we told ourselves was that if this becomes long distance, it's for somebody to go forward in life, go your long distance. So we said from the start that we're not going to restrict each other. Your goals take you to Germany. So I feel like other things that other guys, people that don't have boundaries, like other people, I don't want that. So I personally, I can't fight. If there was war, I'll step back. So if you had like group of people around you, like, okay, let me just be specific. You're a guy, and you don't have boundaries like with ladies around you, maybe colleagues. I don't know what about that. I don't fight. So if you cannot make boundaries, or I have to be asking you every day who is this person. Like my life is a bit stressed on work front. I can't be stressed on that angle. So that's something, and people don't see the importance of that. But I wanted someone that was clear on boundaries.
Clear on boundaries. Wow. What do boundaries look like?
So I think.
Sorry, if I can put it this way. So maybe just not necessarily in a relationship. I'm thinking of, let me bring it to you. A single guy, let's say when you were single, both of you, let's put it this way, you are single. Who are those guys that used to come around you that you feel they don't know your boundaries? What are the kind of things they're trying to do you get what I mean? What boundaries do you want as a person before you were dating? Just mixing with my friends generally, church, meet and greet. Where do we start to feel like, guy, respect boundaries? Where am I getting beyond boundaries with you as a person?
If you're talking to me every day, it's not turning to something else. Like, I don't think there should be a guy in my life that we are just friends, like nothing else, and we are literally talking every day. Something else is involved. I don't talk to anybody every day.
Wow.
So if I notice that, okay, I'm looking at our communication, and almost every single day we are having something to talk about, and it's not as if maybe there is work, or even if it's work, like, I mean, there should be Saturdays and Sundays that we don't have to talk. But if you're talking every day, like, there's something that communication is doing. So I'm already thinking, okay, what's happening here? And I have to take a step back if I actually look at it and like, okay, what we are talking about every single day, you have to check up on me on every single day. It's not, you're not my friend. It's something else. So
Okay,
I think that was
please,
really
I'm sorry. If you guys, okay, if I can write on that. So, let's say I have intentions, right? I'm trying to, I won't just come and ask. Tony sounded like on the first moment there was an interview where he passed, but I'm not sure, something like that. But let's say I have intentions, so I'm trying to come close. So there's that sense of I'm actually intentionally checking on you, trying to talk. How long can I go doing that when you start to feel, do something? Can I get 6 months? Can I get 3 months, 1 year?
I think for me, number one, if I'm replying your messages every day, I like you. Yes.
Okay.
I do. Because maybe personally for me, because if I notice, number one, I will notice it that this guy every single day. So if I don't like you, I'll look for a way to stop it. That one is sure. But if I encourage it, I'm interested. So okay, so
but there have been people
but there are sometimes that even if I like
replied the message they asked.
even if I reply you, to be honest, even if I reply you, even if I like you, and I notice that I also want to give you a hard time. I don't want to. I'll be seeing your message and not reply sometimes because I'm just trying to. I don't know. Just make it. You can't just say, okay, so because we are not talking every day, the next thing, just think I'm your girlfriend. No, there has to be a place of you actually coming out to say straight that this is what I want. Because sometimes just some talking everyday thing that just turn into a relationship. Like before you know it, the guy didn't even bother asking you because you guys were just talking. Then he assumed that you were his girlfriend. So there still needs to be a bit of space for you to actually now come out and say, okay, this is my intention. Then I can now decide that, okay, yes. Even if I still want to say yes, I'll still give you some time to think about it. Like,
why?
It just, I don't know. It's why not? Yes. Like, it gives a sense of you worked for it. Just to get like working hard for things. Like it gives you like you won a prize. Exactly. But if you just
Your
got
husband.
it like you didn't
What?
need
Your husband.
Okay, but on this period of we're like talking every day, how long? Ideally, of course, this is in aggregate, but ideally, how long would you think if you were to advise like your brother? You are talking to this girl every day. At what point will you be trying to tell him, man, I think you should either go for it or back away? How long would you?
I won't say there's a particular period, but I think there is a point in the relationship that you have to act fast because she's talking to so many guys, like, so you have to.
Yeah, yes, girl.
So you also have to. You don't want to push it so far. So it depends. It depends. For example, I don't know. For the very first time I started talking to my husband, I don't think there was any like real break or anything. But I think like maybe 2 months after, he asked me out. Then I gave him an answer 3 weeks after. But even though, but we were still. I had actually already decided.
The one that did 6 weeks ago. They kept me waiting for 6 weeks. Me.
So I think, I don't know how it is now, but the talking stage, you're trying to get to know the person. So that's the point of that. You're trying to get to know the person. You're trying to understand the person, even because you can like a girl. You start talking to the girl and realize that, okay, this will probably not work. So I think that time is just, to talk about the important things, just talk. And when you realize, I think at the point where you make up your mind that, okay, I should go for this, I think you should just ask the girl.
So quick one, I want to ask this. Like pouring out your emotions. Like some people mentioned that maybe first incident, we're trying to apologize and we were crying. Really, what I'm trying to find out is what like in that space, what do ladies?
But be careful.
All right, in that space, really, what do ladies? Or do you want us to just toughen up, take it, and just put our chest and just move on? Chest it, that's the word. Or what? How can we like just be connecting with you in that space of communicating our emotions?
I think vulnerability is intimacy. It's very important, very, very important. And of course, depending on the kind of girl you are showing that part of yourself to, because that is I think one of the reasons men, I'll actually make a case for you guys. I think one of the reasons why men sometimes refuse to be vulnerable is because they feel like they will appear weak. It will come off weak. It will come off maybe because someone will use it against them. So most people want to protect themselves, so they don't want to show the vulnerable part of themselves. But on the other hand, maybe for women, I think like vulnerability is very intimate. It's number one, vulnerability is just not just crying. Definitely not just crying. It's sharing a part of yourself with someone in ways that they cannot share with any other person. And I don't think anything speaks more than that intimacy. It's very important. So I feel like men need to share more. Men need to share more. Men need to. So number one, it's not about crying. Vulnerability is not about crying. It's just sharing a part of yourself that you will not share with any other person. And nothing binds like two people more than that, really.
What's this thing of ladies expecting you to know what's on their mind without saying it?
So your mother, our mom, will tell you things like...
Oh, speak for your own mother first. You can't assume about my own mother.
My mom and my mom will say, you have to open my diamond. Can't you know what? So moms were born young ladies. It's just something that I feel like social intimacy with vulnerability. I also think that once you know me enough, you should already know what I'm thinking. Preempt my thoughts. And I see it happen, so I'm here wishing upon a donut. I didn't even say it out. And you ordered the donut for me.
Wow. How hard is it for you to just say?
So we drop hints. We don't like, it's not look as if we're asking every time. So we drop hints. It's scattered, it's clues. But you have to be attentive.
Wow.
So it's just the thoughtfulness, actually, right? It's just the thoughtfulness.
Yes. I don't want to just do something for me, like, because I have to ask it before you do it. Like, no. It's very important because women also, we do things for you guys without having to, because we think of it. Immediately, I'm already thinking, it's going to work. You're saying,
relax. A lot of people disagree.
You're saying, no, I don't want to eat. I'm already thinking, I know that you're going to get hungry. I'm giving you the food regardless. Do you understand? And then, because you're going to get, later you not get hungry, you not realize that food actually came out handy. I mean, I was thoughtful. So why can't you guys, it's effort, seriously, it's mental work. It is effort. But most times, men don't want to do that mental work. They just want to be spoken like...
But at the same time, communicating is verbal work.
Yes.
Why don't you want to do the verbal work?
We communicate, though. We communicate.
Okay.
We communicate a lot. And the conversations
with scatter pins.
I mean, we communicate on the things that really, truly need
if there
express.
are like 50 guys here, and I have to tell everybody what I want before they get it done. If you are my guy, no, you can't be on that level. Do you understand? There are things you know about me. There are things that, like, even if I do my eyes like this, you already know what it means. There is a level of... How will I explain that? There's a level of...
Missy.
Like, yes. That
Okay,
me
but
that
let me ask you guys, okay, just for example, in the place of, let's say, disagreement. I know that some guys have this issue. There is a disagreement with their, what do you call spouse or whatever? There's a church they call beloved. So let's say there's a disagreement with your beloved, right? And this happens, I know, with a number of ladies. She's not wanting to talk. Can you guys give us like hacks on how to get her talk? We just want to have a conversation.
That would be
Something
great.
happened. She's not talking about it. One day has passed. You know, just a few maybe girl hacks from that your book that you all seem to have. Just let's have a conversation. What can probably be helpful? You know, just.
Okay, so for that, I'll say that me, I'm not the person to talk when stuff just happens. I like to process. I like to come with my points.
That's scary.
So him is the, let's talk right now. Like, I will scatter this. I will not have thought that together. I will not say, oh, there's something I missed. So what I usually appreciate is, don't be saying, talk now, please now. Let's address it now. I'm not good to anything. So give me time. You can kickstart conversation. There's something we call conversation starter. It rhymes with, ice cream. Things that I like now. And then you cannot bring it up. Then it's always like, so imagine somebody why I not talk that time was not. I'm serious, it works. But if you are looking for answers, then you won't get it because she's trying to, she's deliberately saying she doesn't want to. Because people handle disagreement differently.
Yeah.
But
that's the funny thing. I think women differ. I want to talk about immediately. So I think it's really important, number one, to not always put a blanket on either gender, whether men, whether women. I feel like it's important to understand the person you are with. It's very important. So there's some people, Tony likes to talk later. Me, I want to talk about it immediately because I know if I talk about it immediately, that's it. I've forgotten about it. Like, even if you ask me like 3 hours later, why was I upset 2 hours ago? I can't remember because I've spoken about it. Yes, so I feel like, and maybe like just even speaking generally now, maybe because I heard somewhere that's not so good, you should allow people, like, if me, I'm talking to my husband, I'm saying, I won't talk about it, and I upset him, and I'm saying, I won't talk about it, I think it's okay for me to leave him alone to be upset. Like, let him work it out. Let him work it out on his own, then we can have a conversation about it when the person I've offended is less. So I feel like people are different. Yeah. So it's very important to understand the woman, the guest girl in your life, and understand how to then deal. If it's someone like Tony that you need to buy something for.
Because some ladies would take offense with that. Like, yes, you're trying to bribe me.
Yes. So maybe if it makes it land better with them, maybe you should go with that approach. But if it's someone that needs to discuss it immediately, like me.
Okay, I get that. Let's try and build a man together. Let's try and construct a man. It is day 6 of creation. We're joining God to build a man. God doesn't allow us to talk about his looks. Let's leave that to God. But we want to talk about his dress sense. One thing you would ask God to include. What should his dress sense look like?
He has to have correct dress sense. Yeah, he has to have correct dress sense. I don't know.
What's correct?
He has to know how to combine. I don't know.
Should he be colorful? Should he be...
No, not colorful. Like, just correct, calm, warm, not ras, not boyish, like mature. Like.
Yes, so what is boyish, what is mature?
I don't know, but when you are sagging, I don't know, it's definitely boyish. You're not mature. I'm sorry. Yes, so you have to, actually, I'm trying to imagine how my husband dresses. Okay, so he has to, I don't know, just be able to put one or two things together. Definitely, of course, fashion sense doesn't have to do with expensive, or you can be expensive and still be raz. So you have to be able to know how to put colors together, and if that cannot happen, God should drop the sense in the woman. The woman will dress him.
Wow. But how will he attract the woman? That might be the problem.
He has to have other qualities that will make the woman stay, because it's not as if he's going to
qualities
be perfect.
Like let's one or two qualities like.
Of course, I don't think I'm going to see a man that I really like and he does not have a good fashion sense, and I'm going to say because of that I can't be with this man. Definitely, that's like really shallow, because I believe anybody's dress sense can be upped. You can help them, you can teach them, you can... there's sometimes my husband wants to wear some shoes. I'm like, no. Don't embarrass me. So, you understand? So, it can be helped. So, of course, other qualities like, of course, we're in church. He has to be God-fearing. He has to love people. He has to be kind. He has to be kind. Yes. He has to be very kind. He has to love you. God commanded men to love. So he has to love. He has to love you, and so many other qualities.
So can I ask you guys, just this guy we're trying to build, this guy we're trying to build, you talked about God-fearing. Now I want to ask you sincerely, you're upon the altar of God. Now, I hear ladies sometimes talk about church guys, like, it's almost like there's a church guy thing, almost like there are some guys outside, let them be Christians. You see where I'm going? But church guys, we'll do fellowship together, but not the kind of guy I want to marry. You're not in.
Okay, so this is one question that used to come up when we fellowship brethren. We tell our fellowship brothers that we cannot date them, that they are not complete. Not in the exact words, but like we say things like that. Okay, because you're a Christian doesn't mean you should be smelling. Should your trousers be as big as your grandpa's? Like that's your grandpa's time. Leave it here. Things like that. So I think oftentimes I'll address this topic of this question from like two sides. Now there's the part that I often want to ask people that when you say you want a God-fearing man, are you sure that's what you want? That's one part. You know, what is the idea of God-fearing you have in your head? Because I feel like a God-fearing man is a complete man. I don't think that if God knew or had a son that dressed well, but didn't have a good character, he won't somehow be correcting him somehow. Right? So if a God-fearing man or someone that's after Christ is
complete.
you can tell that even where he's not, he's working at it. Because there's like influence around him.
Nice.
So people just there's a glamorizing of a particular look of what God-fearing should be. Okay, people say they should sprinkle. God-fearing was sprinkle like he should be a bad boy. Sprinkle bad boyism on it. I don't know. You don't want a bad boy. You don't want that. So what if you want someone, if your problem is, okay, I want a God-fearing man that at least character-wise, he's not a dreamer alone. He also works at it. Because some people are Joseph. Well, Joseph was working hard. He entered prison. He worked hard. If he was doing things in the pattern of his dream, is it that you want? Then okay, then let's define it. Do you understand? Let's define it. Because oftentimes it's like the God-fearing stops at in our head. Him just firebrand,
prayer,
tongue speaking, blood washed, and nothing added. So that's where there's a problem. So it's almost like the guys outside, they're complete. So they just add Christ to them.
Yeah. So yes, I do. Which is what I was trying to, which you're talking about. So you've spoken about like character.
Yeah.
So if we can just like put one or two words as we're saying these things, just so that what I want is that everybody here can kind of have a picture of what you're saying. So like character is important. It's not just about how prayerful I am. A lady cares about my character. You've kind of spoken about, I think, kindness. I know you guys spoke about that. Anything else? You guys say stuff about how to treat a lady. Are there? What does that sound like?
That sounds like respect.
Respect. Respect, like I should prostrate.
Yeah, no, man. Wait for your in-laws. Respect in how you communicate, how you handle that person, how you talk to the person. Don't talk down, even if you're trying to correct.
Respect my voice. Yeah, that's really important.
Don't correct. Why are you correcting me in public?
Okay. Okay.
Respect, because they say respect to reciprocal. I'm going to be respecting you too. So respect that you respect me. I'm not saying you should fight. I mean, but if we're outside and somebody said something or something, I mean, respect how they old films. Respect her honor.
But don't fight.
Don't fight. Find the balance.
So character, we said things like prayer and all of that. You've spoken about appearance. You seem to be saying stuff about appearance. Paying attention to it. No body odor.
Definitely.
Okay, so is it like no body odor, or like the the fragrance should be loud, or just as long as there's no odor?
No odor. No, you can. I mean, yes. If you're alone, that you're using what's this thing called?
Deodorant.
Yes, you don't have to have perfume, but be using deodorant.
But deodorant.
Very,
No, we know it's not like it's just for people outside. You're saying that you're telling us. We know.
Of course.
It's people outside. Okay, deodorant. But if there can be a perfume, added points.
Yeah.
Okay. Appearance. Anything else? Confidence.
Yourself as a man. I know everybody walks through this thing as teenagers when we grow up. You have a self-esteem issue at some point, then it phases out because you're not coming to yourself. It's somehow if you are a man, you're a grown man, and people are seeing some kind of insecurity and lack of confidence in yourself. You said something about clothes. Even wear your clothes. Don't let your clothes wear you. Is my own self. Like wear your outfit. Don't let the outfit wear you. You know when your outfit wears you, you're just moving inside. Not really. Because I feel like some people look good in anything. But it shows how they come out, like how they wear the clothes. That one is for me. You're confident as a man. Even if you're riding Okada, confidence, show up nice.
Anything about leadership
Ride Okada.
in there?
Leadership.
Yeah, of course. I also think that it's really important to know that in building this man, we understand that you don't have to be all there. Do you understand me? I feel like what I personally would look out for is seeing someone that is willing to grow into all this. I think that's really more important because your dressing may not be 100% there. Even your character may not be 100% there, but we can see that there's someone that has a desire to grow into all that it needs to be. Like that thing of saying, okay, the potential for growth is really, really important because there will be, even if someone has very good dress sense today, they can change tomorrow. But we are seeing someone that is understand that, okay, this is where I need to be. I'm not there yet, but I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to grow into that person. Yes.
What do you call teachability?
Yeah, and you were speaking about leadership. Number one, I think like leadership is everybody should have leadership, not just men. But I know that there's this expectation of men about leadership and leading because this is a church here and we understand the role of the man and the family. And we know that the man has a leadership space in the family. So you want to see someone that that can take up that role because this is not just one person that is going to be, you're thinking about your children, you're thinking about a generation to come. So you want someone that you're confident in his ability to lead when it's time to do all that. Yeah.
Would it scare you if he says he can't kill a snake?
No, that's not. How many times do you see snakes?
Great.
Okay, if he tells you that if both of us see snake, we're both running.
Where do you run? You run with me or do you run from me? Do we separate in the running? That's the judge of character. So, you saw danger and you took yourself first and you ran.
So like he should hold you and you both run together. Oh wow.
Yeah, I think we define a lot of I don't know, maybe this is mass. Yes, with different things. I feel like maybe we think about more deeper things. Not can you kill a snake or can you do the changeover or can you, I don't know. I feel like we define it with more emotional stuff on our own side. Like
Mr. Abache, let me ask you. If you are driving with your husband and you have a flat tire, who should change it? I know he's emotionally strong, but who should change that tire? That's what I'm asking.
If we cannot change it, we'll get someone who will stop to change it.
But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. All right. Any last words, advice for?
Okay, maybe, I've honestly been saying this a lot with my husband, and I think maybe for men, there's something we call society expectation, and maybe it does not just apply to men or women, but maybe for men, because I know that the reality is that it can really be tough, what we think the society expects of us. But sometimes when we look at these expectations, we realize that, my own society can be different from your own society. Like, because maybe we were brought up, what the society was actually saying to us when we were growing up. And then you realize something about society expectation, that it can be very different. It can be very wrong, actually. And so we see a lot of men going up because they just feel like, they have to be this, they have to be that. And they're not coming down for a woman to actually help them because you just expect that all this responsibility is on me. So maybe sometimes they don't want to ask for help. They don't feel like they should ask for help. They don't feel like they should collaborate with a woman. And just because of a society expectation. So maybe it's time for us to be, Pastor was saying something like 2 weeks ago and talking about how we have to, examine all truth. And so maybe it's time for us to start actually defining what the truth is. And defining what the truth is. What exactly does God expect of you as a man? What is not what the society expects. So you're putting so much pressure on yourself that who is the society going to save? You realize the society actually does not really expect that from you. It's just something that you've grown up with that you think is actually expected of you. So maybe as men, it's time to actually calm down and say, okay, yes, this is there, but maybe these voices I've been listening to, maybe they're actually wrong. Maybe it's time to actually listen to look at the reality. I have a good woman by my side. I have a good woman in my life. Can I collaborate with this woman? Does it matter if this woman is any more than me or not any more? Does it matter who is? I mean, can I build something with someone without thinking I just have to be all up there and carry this huge burden on myself? Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Any last words?
Yes. Abade said last paragraph. It wasn't words. I'm going to do like her. Okay, just taking from what she said. I think men should more and more. There should be spaces where I can't say where you talk about what actually defines who are the person as a man, right? And the word of God is like the safest place to find your identity. If you go outside, it's like, this whole thing of money, finances, how to get it. I think as important as what you are building is how you build it. The goal is to, I don't think there's anybody here that doesn't want like a family that they can take care of and they can have these vacations with their children. There's like all of these plans. That's it's not the end, but that's like one of the ends to making money. But how you do it is also important. I know you at the end you make your family smile and everything, but if you are doing the wrong things to get there, I don't know. Sowing and reaping always there's still, as long as Bible says so you will reap. It will come, and if it doesn't come for you, it's come for your children. It's very important to like see how you build. Also, community is so important. Like brotherhood. You wonder why women are always very clustered around each other every time we are doing things. Always, it's because of what we gain from our community. You guys, you seem like, so what they always compare men and women with, men, they are in the gathering before they talk to each other, it's like, take time. But men, after they hit stuff, that's the end, stays there. You don't know each other's name, it's chairman, boss. There's no deep, it's not deep. So, if you cannot cry to your partner, who can you cry with? Who can you talk at? People use your pain to play, to make jokes. That's why all of you are still traumatized, So, I'm serious.
Wait, you will let us breathe. Let the men breathe.
Please don't suffocate.
I'm just saying
suffocate
that
them.
It's really important. It's really important to. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that in a bad way.
No.
But you know what I'm
very
saying.
good stuff.
Yes. Yeah. So you need like a group of men that are like brothers. You don't have to be your biological brother because you know your biological brothers are not good. You need like men that can be brotherhood. So your people that this is how you can pick the men that are good. People that you can leave your children with and travel and say, go to Uncle Smith's house, they're fine. Choose those ones that are good character. So you can all grow and there's like emotional support. Because what we can say, if you guys are starting to see it to their own standards, so you need like pushing, you need like people, you need
Thank you. Thank you. I noticed who started clapping first. Thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys. Thank you. We promise you'll go out safe. Nobody's going to, even though you talked about us being traumatized, but that's fine. Thank you so much.
Let's celebrate them. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Whew. Don't you people want to breathe? So we'll take a few minutes. Drinks at the back. I think there's some snacks as well. We'll just take about 10 minutes and breathe. And then we'll meet back here. Okay.
All right, guys, please, if we have questions, let's write them in while we're on this stretch break. We'll take a few more minutes and just talk around them. But if you have questions, please, let's write them in. We'll have a couple already. Let's write in our question. All right, also, if you are online, please, you can drop your questions as you are following on YouTube. We will take your questions as much as we can. Please drop your questions for us on YouTube, and then let's get talking. Let's engage.
troubles and the troubles every day now. This road of money feels like it's the end now. But every obstacle is just a bend now. I promise you I'll keep on pushing. They gave me these deals, but I don't want it. If it means that I will turn away from he who died for me, gave his life for me, and all is God to me, yeah. Okay, now I'll keep on driving, yeah. The system will not control me, yeah. I give them Jesus and nothing. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, now I'll keep on driving, yeah. The system will not control me, yeah. I give them Jesus and nothing. There's light at the end of the tunnel. I'm walking over this bridge, yeah. Walking on water so deep. The hurt and the pain.
People have already gone to settle back into your games. That's interesting. I know I promised that you would come. But we can start making our way back to our seats now. If you wouldn't mind. Actually, even if you mind. Please, let's start making our way back to our seats. Okay, I'm going to start walking around now. You guys are very, very comfortable.
We gon' make it over, yeah. Rise from the trouble, lions in the jungle. Put us anywhere, we survive in the struggle. Who am I to blame? Is it God or the devil? So much pain from the lies that we peddle. Like fight life, hear the cries in the ghetto. Like Mike Tyson knocked down, but we get up. Say if we can fly, we can dodge all the
Alright guys, sorry, we'll have to freeze again. I have to freeze again. Let's continue, don't worry. When we round up, we'll continue all of this. It's a very critical moment. You know, but we must continue. We must continue. Please, let's. Let's make our way back to our seats. I'm sure we've gotten to unwind a bit, stretch our legs, get something to drink. Off. Yes. Let's make our way back to our seats. If you're outside and you can hear me, we're about to start again. Just let's make our way back to our seats. If you're outside, if we can fill up the front seats, that would be great. So, if you can fill the seats in front of you, that would be wonderful. Everybody, please, come on. Okay, guys, if we can fill up the front seats, see, 80. I know you can hear me. Fill up the front seats, guys. Okay. Wonderful. So that we can start again. I have a few more things to discuss, right? All right. Okay, so we'll do it a little differently this time. I'm going to give Supreme the mic, right, and he'll pass it to whoever needs it.
So we are, I hear we're just to take some questions now. The mic is going to move around in a bit. We already have some questions here. Then there'll be a mic there if we're able to take that. But we just have a few minutes before we get through this. So what questions do we have already?
All right, so we have a question. Somebody's asking, yes. So somebody's asking us about pornography addiction, right? Because this thing of sex and all its implications, it's just all around us. It's out there. Even when you're not looking for it, it's staring you right in the face. So somebody is in this thing of an addiction. How can you help them? How can we help them out of here?
And also online, if you have questions, we might also be able to get to one or two online. So,
Toby, the question has come in.
The way you just call my name.
When did your father first catch you watching porn?
Hey, stop.
You say you want to be vulnerable now.
We help you.
I'm just helping you to be vulnerable.
Stop.
Oh yeah, did your father catch you watching porn or not?
I'm sorry.
You say you want to be vulnerable, I'm sorry. You're making it look like I'm a bad person.
Why are you making like this? Could I buy? You're waiting for an answer. Yeah. Is it that you care about me? I've been so for you. Okay, yes, he caught me. Are you happy now? But that was like, you don't tell. It was like JS2. I mean, you say reason now.
They say boss.
Yeah, it was something.
It's quite something.
But I like his father's. So his father. So it's not like I'm casting him. Or he has spoken about this before because people make it look as if I'm casting. So his father made him write devotional or something.
Yeah.
That was like his punishment.
Yeah.
To start, devotional, our daily bread, all those things. You version.
I'm not joking. No. Like, as at JS2, I had the full, you can do devotional on what I wrote for a little over 30 days. I'm telling you. But now I do get what my dad was getting at. I think it was just this thing of purging my mind. It was a lot about focus, right? And how, like Bayo said, you're not even looking for it. It's just everywhere, right? So it was more, now I want to intentionally put your focus here, right? And every single day, it wasn't even daily, it was morning and evening, and I won't just write it, I'll lead the whole family. Everybody will sit down.
Also, like he casted you to the whole family.
Normal level.
Wow.
Yeah, everybody will sit down, talk, I would teach, I would write Bible, I would, read devotional, all of that. And then I get the point now. That time, of course, I still watch Amiga.
You don't watch on Soul. Anyway, but okay, yeah.
But I don't think the war against pornography or a sexualized world is won once and for all, right? I don't think. Yeah. I think it's a daily, a very consistent mindedness. Truthfully, we're not looking for it. You're out somewhere. In fact, these days it's indirect cues, that just point your minds towards. So there has to constantly be for everybody what I'm resolving my mind to, at the end of the day. I try to do it at the end of the day. Second thing is, how deliberately do you tailor the content that you take in? The ones that you are in control of. Now, there's much you're not in control of, right? But I remember, I think it was PTM that said it to me once that, there's a lot that we don't know. There's a lot that we are not in control of. But we know enough to not live our lives based on the things we don't know, right? So the things that we do know, right? This is what I know. This is what I can do, right? I can tailor my content. I can I want to be strong on that, so that all the things that I don't know, will not have as strong an effect on me as, this one that I'm deliberate about. I think that would be a good one.
Okay, sorry, thanks. So good. I think that's really good. Just maybe to add on what you said, and I like what he said, that honestly, if whoever wrote in that question, it's probably not an answer of like, these are the 3 things to do, and that's it. I think in many ways we're going to find that our lives are more about our directions. So from where Okay, thanks. So, I was saying our lives are really about our directions, which means that what are you building towards from where you are? The way I like to think about it is like, if I look in my compound and I see there are oranges dropping in my compound, I'm seeing a fruit. If I don't want that fruit, then I'm going to ask, what is producing that fruit? That means there's a tree. So I'm going to be asking, what can I do to kill that tree? And that's going to become a direction. I'm going to be thinking about how to take the life out of that tree, which is a process. And then I'm also going to be asking myself, just like he said, what fruits do I actually even want? What am I then trying to plant? So at the end of the day, what our lives is going to look like is an outplay, a productivity out of what we're allowing. But you're not just going to say, I don't want to see oranges, and you go and pluck all the oranges you see. It's going to grow back, and many of us have been there, where we've tried to just act based on what we see, react, but there are foundations, there are trees, there are seeds that we have allowed and that are producing. So honestly, I think it's going to be quite a conversation. And here's how okay, that was one of you guys. So I think it's going to be a conversation, and here's how I would advise that you're thinking about it. Make sure that you're thinking about it in terms of practical things. No, first of all, make sure you're thinking about it in terms of what it really is, that you're seeing it clearly. By that I mean, I honestly think that many guys underestimate the battle that is going on. So you kind of see it as dealing with porn, but I don't like to be there, but it's not really a helpful thing. It's not really cool. I don't like how I feel. But man, that thing is madly destructive. Like, what if you can really get a real picture of how destructive this is in terms of who I am, what I'm becoming, in terms of my life, it's literally like I am poisoning myself, right? So if I have a clear picture of how much I'm dealing with, not underestimating it, not making it, just all those things that people kind of say, like many people, or how it started, like, blah, 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 I'm not even in control, it's what it is. This is madly destructive, and we can go a whole conversation about that. Then I think secondly, you must be thinking, you must be thinking practically, which means that for everything that is allowed to grow in my life, there is practical measures that allows it grow. There is access that I have to be thinking about. There are triggers. So like Toby was saying, the truth is, you can't think about it just from the extremes. There's usually a step that triggers a step. And sometimes that first step is as random as a particular person that you know the kind of conversations, what they trigger, what they leave you wanting, right? Or if I notice these days, recently I just noticed that there are, sometimes I meet somebody and I'm trying to have a conversation and then we exchange contacts, and so I get to see your status, stuff like that. And I kind of started noticing a trend, even just among, because most of the people in my world whose contacts I have, it's kind of like a controlled environment. By that I mean it's a few people around me in church, not too many people. A lot of others are probably muted, but like, so I kind of, most of what I would even see on like a status timeline is church DP, someone clip, stuff like that. But I just noticed a few, like the most random people that I just add, and I just see your status before I even, let me even take it out. It's just sexual undertones, like just every 30-second clip here and there. Like, I think like 2 days ago realized, man, this is so dominant. Like just a sexual undertone there. And so I really can't be giving myself all that kind of access and think that it's not going to be one step to another step to another step, just in terms of the residual triggers in my mind. So I would always advise people who are there to be thinking practically. You know, you can't be walking this direction and expecting to get to that end. There has to be a sense of I'm walking in the I'm making decisions in the direction of where I'm trying to get to. So make sure you're thinking practically. Accountability and things like that are definitely always helpful. Not to worship it. Accountability will not do for you what you should do for yourself, but it helps you to do what you should do for yourself if you are honest about it. So I know people that would set up accountability and dribble their own accountability. And I'm saying, you know, why are you doing that to yourself, right? So, like, see how dangerous this is. See how much of an issue it is. Think practically. I would say, you know, spiritually, just in terms of your life direction. But I would be careful in saying that so that it's not a thing of, like, keep praying about it. Typically, I advise people, if you have prayed about it, stop praying about it. Whether it's porn, whether it's masturbation, all those kind of things. And here's why I think that, personally. I used to think that until I then heard, I think it was Sunday Adelaja, I then heard Satan. I said, exactly. I just need to be sure it wasn't me just thinking this. The point is there's a meditation going on. So if you wake up every morning and your prayer point is, God, I don't want to watch porn, you are meditating. You are making your life more about what you don't want to do than what you actually want to do. And you are not called to run away from something. You're called to pursue purity. So why don't you wake up every morning praying in the directions of the purity you're pursuing? Do you get what I'm trying to say? And by implication, you are not doing that. So if you've prayed about it, I believe God has heard you. I believe he has. And I believe he's helping you. So it's not like a daily wake up, porn, and you almost have been there where you now start to measure your life like your success on a day. It's not even that you read your Bible, it's that you didn't watch this. Right? And I'm trying to say, but that's not what you're trying to build, okay? So that way, the devil does a lot of them playing games with us. So you like suppress it for 2 weeks. So you count a clean sheet for 2 weeks, and then you come back again, and you feel useless. But that doesn't mean you haven't made progress in 2 weeks. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I'm thinking more direction than situation. I'm thinking, what are you uprooting and killing, and what are you actually planting and building? And then I'm thinking, what are the practical measures to guide you in the decisions that you have made? Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. We have a couple more questions.
Is there any here yet?
In the building?
Or online? Okay. Well, let's take what you have.
All right. So we have. I think we can merge this. This might be able to merge with what you have already. Somebody's asking, in what ways can a guy dating stay mindful about his girl and happenings around her while juggling responsibilities from family, work, church life?
I really didn't get that.
All right. In what ways can a guy dating stay mindful about his girl? Like, I think stay connected, stay communicating, and happenings around her while juggling responsibilities from family, work, church life.
Toba, how do you do it?
Well, honestly, I think that life is you need to understand the season of life you're in. So I don't think it is, I think you should, personally as a guy, I think you should take things a step at a time. You know how much you can handle. So if you feel like this is not the season where you also want to add the burden of, well, not exactly burden, but it takes a lot of emotion. I'm sorry, I apologize for that. Not burden, but like it is a lot of emotional investments and to be in a relationship and all that. So I think you should understand the season of life you're in. If it is not the time for that, I think you should focus on when you'll be able to, to be able to handle, when your capacity will be able to carry like extra, having someone else in your life and all that. So personally for me, I think you should just take life in phases. You don't have to, because everyone around you is doing it, so you don't have to do it. I think you should understand the season of life you're in and you should act accordingly.
So good. But if I can also add, I totally agree with him. If I can also add, guys, let's also be working on our capacity. Yeah. So it's one thing to say I don't have capacity for things, but it's another thing to be sitting there, right? Sometimes you also need to, I'm not competitive in terms of, like you look around and you're saying because someone is doing this, then I should be able to do it. But sometimes you also want to look and say, how are they doing it? How is somebody my age doing this? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? You should also, the Bible says Moses saw a bush that was burning and was not consumed, and he went near to go and check.
Yeah.
Sometimes you should also be asking, how is a 21-year-old somewhere in the world doing what he's doing? And not just that, I'm 27, I don't have capacity. Sometimes you also need to challenge yourself, if you get what I'm trying to say. And building capacity is a real practical thing. It is reading books. It is listening to stuff. It is being mentored. It is being in the right conversations. Do you understand? It is intentional. That you can start a year and say over the next 6 months. Recently, this week, I was one of my guys and I said, let's list out 5 areas of your life that you want to scale up in the next 1 or 2 months. Let's talk about it. And so he lists out 5 areas, and sometimes random things. I want to know about, I just want to scale up in terms of leadership. I want to scale up. Sometimes I'm thinking, what were the causes of the World War? Let me just know about wars and human conflict. And you can study on it in the next 1 week. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. This week I've done a lot of reading about, maybe in a sense, oceanography, but just you get what I'm trying to say, right? It's knowledge. It scales up capacity. It empowers you to be in some new conversations. It empowers you to be able to contribute something when people are talking. Not that, except it is Man U Arsenal, then I'm not into those. But you can also talk. So even the football, scale up knowledge. It's not everything that is offside. Sometimes it's not offside. You just don't know how VAR works. You understand what I'm saying? You now be arguing, offside. It's not offside. It's not. So I think building capacity is a real thing that sometimes we're lazy about. And if we call ourselves out, you can't own a smartphone and all you do is scroll through Instagram Reel. That's all you do with a smartphone. I think the phone is smarter than you.
Wow.
I think so.
All right, we've got one more. How can a steel man, be kind? This is from one of the. This is from Yes Girl, actually.
No, we
from
don't
Yes Girl.
There's one here. What's your take on having female friends and properly setting boundaries with them? How do you set boundaries with ladies? You're making it look as if I'm just picking on you.
Yeah, I think you are.
No, you're the one that's he spoke just now. He spoke. You're the one that hasn't spoken.
Okay. I don't know. For me, it has been relatively easy.
Should I break it down? Okay. No. Should we break it down? Okay, so let's talk about boundaries with physical intimacy. So sometimes the way my body is, I don't want to hug you. But she expects a hug and she's coming and all of that, Or that girl that is just... Sometimes I'm even here shaking hands at the door. Some people, I'm like, Auntie, calm down. That's me, as the pastor, I'm like, let's just be taking it easy, and stuff like that. So I'm then thinking again, if I was a random person in the middle, let's say I'm a university student, at 8 p.m. one night, maybe I'm even still fighting some of these battles, trying to arrange my mind. I might not always be in the right space. And so, for example, intimacy boundaries. Before we even say relationship, I'm just saying general, friends, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so if you were not conscious about it before, it's one thing, right? Now that you're conscious about it, that this is something to address, right? So you were given an example of somebody, even outside the door, and it's like, Auntie, I think that the next time the person is going to come in contact with you, should probably not, suggest it even physically, right, with body language or whatever. So, first of all, people expect a lot of things because of the foot you started, your relations with them on, right? So, if somebody is expecting you to give them a bare-chested hug, right? That's why I said, if you didn't know about it, or if you were not aware of it before, you would give everybody a bare-chested hug, right? Now that we are becoming aware of it, there are, in starting relations with the opposite sex, anybody at all, there are just, things you want to look out for. Because the starting is going to dictate, how it then goes from there. But with the ones that already are, there, I think body language does a lot, right? I think...
what can body language look like?
in your context?
Yes. So, in two ways, and one of them I think I heard from you is physical posture and also life posture, right? Physical posture in that, somebody's not going to come and give me a bare-chested hug if I, honestly, to be honest, you're not going to come and suggest to sit on my laps if my legs are crossed. To be honest, right, there are just certain things, because you're conscious of it, you want to do it.
But you have not met the one that will put that leg down.
So that's the thing. If you're in that type of environment, you probably should not be there. You probably shouldn't be there, because at least here in church, you're not going to be sitting now with your leg crossed, and somebody that you're not married to, you call a friend, random friend, just kicks your leg off and So I think that it worked. It still works, a lot for me. I think also, like the female, like ladies were saying, right? They said you can't talk to somebody every day and claim it's just friendship, right? So we set the tone for a lot of things as guys. A lot of things that come to us, a lot of things that we can't sit down and act like these things just happen to me. They don't. They don't. We're the ones that are setting the tone for it. Secondly, life posture, right? It's not spooky. It's also not metaphysics. It's not. Someone can relate with you, right? And in a few conversations or in a few moments of relation, they can tell what type of person you are. What direction your life is headed, how your mind works, how people know who to suggest certain things to. Yeah. So they know that. I'm not going to. Don't come and talk about swimming with me. I don't. Don't. If you want to talk about football and have a very good conversation, meet BTM.
Are you sure? That is what you think?
Better you than me. But you know what I mean. So, so at the end of the day, it's very, very. It's largely about what we're giving off.
Yeah.
The energy we're giving off, the vibe we're giving off, physically, quality of conversation, direction of conversation, words used, exactly.
Words used.
All of those things. Yeah.
Words used. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to say anything about that? Well, I think Toby has said most of it already. I would say that, so as guys also we understand our bodies, and like you were saying something about triggers earlier. So you kind of know not to give a lady like you said, bare-chested hug. You would rather do a side hug, or you would rather not even do a hug at all. Then I think maybe another thing is that you can actually, once you understand it, I think you can be upfront about it. And you can let them know that this is how this thing makes me feel. No hard feelings.
Do you have to tell them?
Well, it depends, really. I feel like you can.
If it's your babe, I get. But like a random girl, you now tell her that.
Random. So I feel like maybe a random girl too will not just jump and give you a hug. I feel like
when I say random girl, I mean, friends around, all of that. Do I have to call her and tell her that
you might? No, you might. No. That can even be dangerous. So I think that maybe what would be wiser to do is, so there's a subtle way to kind of begin to, not in a disrespectful way, but there's a way you can begin to approach that in wisdom, and then just, the person's coming. There's a way you can position to just receive the hug, just by the side. All right, just it's all about doing that. And I'm sure if you do that 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, the person would begin to. So the person wouldn't come that, except like you said, it's the person that will remove your leg and just sit there.
Yeah. I remember doing one when I was in 100 level. I was in 100 level. It was a very long time ago. But there were these girls in my class that I just started feeling the energy was not right and all of that. So I kind of made a personal decision that I was moving away from them. But you've processed in your own mind and all of that.
this was 100 level. This is like 20 years ago, so don't judge me. Well, it's what it is. But I remember this girl coming, and she had seen me like a distance from like here to the back of church, and she was like coming, and how are you? Man, I didn't hear the last story. Like, but it was what it is. It was what it was. She later became a member of my fellowship. Anyway, but that. So, okay, yeah. Was there any last question that we could take? Any on the mic? Can't see too well. Okay.
All right.
Not sure there's any. Okay.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. Please, can we give like a really, really, really big hand to everybody who was up here with us today? Come on, you can keep clapping. You can keep clapping. So we are all right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this evening. Online, our Yes Girls. Interestingly, I should say that the question that we even skipped was actually the exact question that Pastor asked right back again. So we took most of the questions that we also got online, but I'll just maybe say a few things, and then we would call it a wrap for today. All right, who's had some fun, who's had some games, and who's had real helpful conversation? All right, who's ready to get back to some games? Nobody's raising their. All right, okay. All right, so I'll just say a few things. I don't know, anybody here you've used a, like you are that kind of person that you don't need Google Map. Anywhere you're going, you know where you're going, you just drive your way there. You get your way there. Anybody? Okay, anybody falls in the category where you kind of like, you're in that space where you use it occasionally and then sometimes you don't. You kind of fall in that, Okay. How many people, like, you're in that space where, like, Google Map is like your lifesaver? It's like you depend for oxygen, for, All right, so I'm saying that because, so I asked that, thankfully I'm in good company, so I asked that because, so I remember a while back, 2020, October, where there was NSAS protests, right? So October 2020, I think I had the longest distance drive of my life, right? Yeah, the longest, shortest distance drive of my life. So I left Ibadan, I think around maybe 8 a.m., thereabout, and I got to Lagos for 8 p.m. Yeah, it was a 12-hour drive. I can never forget it. All right, so basically what had happened was there was this NSAS protest. We got to the express, and then they had said, okay, you know what? Like NSAS protesters are protesting in front. In fact, they even said they will sleep there. Nobody's going to get out of here, all of that. And I was in that space where, oh, what do I do now? I can't turn back. So it was this thing of, I saw people just, taking a turn, and then people started saying, there's one village, like through Ogun State. Hey, that brother, it has happened to you before. Say there's one village in Ogun State, we'll just pass it, we'll link up, we'll come out at the back of the protesters. I was like, let's go for it. So I did. So if you know anywhere within that axis, it kind of falls just before you get to like maybe the Magboro area. You've not gotten to the Long Bridge area, right? So it was just before there. And I remember just veering off, taking the drive, just going through and all of that. And as I drove through, I remember that, so at the time, I was even way worse. I didn't really know my way around so much. I was way worse. Google Map was total dependence. I don't know if you've been in this thing where you set your Google Map, you start the journey, and then you get to a point, you expect the Google Maps to reroute. But it just does the rerouting, and then it does the rerouting, and then does the rerouting, and then even you feel like the maps is confused. So I got to that point, and I was like, I just shut it all off, right? And just kept going. Drove for like maybe 7 hours in Ogun State, came out at Punch. So if you know the distance from where I'm talking about, it's probably like a 5 or 10 minutes drive. Like if you are going the straight road, it's like a 5 or 10 minutes drive. So and then I was like, is this it? Is this where the day will come out? And all that. I said that because I just wanted to maybe just leave maybe an encouragement with us tonight. Number one, maybe some of us are like those people who we feel like we can rough it on our own. Like I can do it all by myself. like, let's just get on it, I would rough it. I would go the distance. I would take it on my own. I would take it with my full chest, regardless of what the society, what everybody is throwing around me. I know that Jeremiah 50 and verse 6, it says that they are like lost sheep. All right, so some people just go their way. They are just trying to push their way through. Push it all through and see that I would come out on the other side. I would get my way through. And some of us are like people that, we kind of like, we use it and then we step out of it. We use it and then we step out of it. We get into it and we get out of it. And I can never forget, Peter was preaching a message, I think it was like 2 weeks ago now, thereabout, when we were wrapping up the Faithful series, and he was speaking about followers of Jesus. And he made mention of something that following at a distance would always lead you to a compromise. You will get to that point where it's either you are in it and you are staying in it, right? So it's not so much a conversation of the destination anymore at that point. It's a conversation of the direction, all right? So because you set the maps, so sometimes we set the maps and then we're just traveling this journey, all right? But maybe one particular scripture I'd like to just, if we can have it up on screen, is Psalms 23 from verse 1. Psalm 23 from verse 1, it says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." And even maybe for us who fall in the last category, who feel like the GPS is my lifeline, is my blood, I need it, I live and breathe it. But maybe one thing we need to understand is the shepherd is not a GPS. Because even the GPS is just taking you to a destination. And sometimes, maybe as guys, we kind of like just fall in that place where we are thinking it's just about the destination. It's just about the destination. But I think it's more of a God direction that he's bringing us to. And as Christian guys, I feel like we have that responsibility, we have that space in our lives where we can be expecting God to give us a direction for our lives. We can expect God to give us a direction where we're going in relationships. We can expect God to give us a direction in our finances. We can expect God to give us a direction in community. We can expect God to give us a direction in the people that would be around us. And we can expect this from God. Not because we are spoiled brats or we are spoiled children, but because God promises it. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 says, "I know the thoughts that I have towards you. Thoughts of good and not of evil, to bring you to an expected end." See, it's not just about a GPS system getting me to a destination. It's more of a conversation of saying, the Lord is my shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd, and I would let him lead me. Verse 2 says, he makes me lie down in green pastures. It's interesting that the moment that you say that the Lord is my shepherd, you shall not want, the right next thing that he does is he says, I would make you lie down. But most times as men, we don't want to be made to do anything. Or by smart. I want to have it my way. But I'm challenging you today. Can you really be making that true statement? To say the Lord is my shepherd. Where he makes me, I would give him the room to make me. Where he's molding, I would allow him do it. Where he's speaking to me, I would allow him do it. Sometimes we are like people who we have an entry and an exit door, right, of our lives. But we allow God at the entry to say, God, just bring in the right people into my life, like the kind of people I need in this season. But maybe there are also some certain people that should exit. And we have to be able to allow God to be in that space also. Right, I'm saying all of this to say, can we be the kind of Christian men who would say, I know the noise is loud. I know all that is happening around us. But I would stand up in courage. I would stand up to say, Lord is my shepherd. He leads me beside the still waters. I know there's noise all around happening, but I would allow him. He leads me beside the still waters. He leads me beside the still waters. And if we can take a moment together this evening, I'd just like us to stand and just pray and just ask that, God, would you lead me? Would you lead me? I'm leaving myself open to you tonight, saying, lead me. Make me, God. Make me, make me, make me. Make me, God. Touch on me. Make me. Do something that only you can do in me. Do something that only you can do in me. Do something that only you can do in me. Make me, God. Make me. Touch on my heart. Make me, God. Make me. Can we be praying that in the name of Jesus, I'm the kind of man who, as he leads me, I follow. I'm a faithful follower. I'm a faithful follower. I'm walking that journey with him. In the name of Jesus, I'm walking that journey with him. As he makes me, I yield myself to it. I leave myself open to it. In the name of Jesus, I'm taking a stand today to say that I would follow you, God. I would follow you regardless of the times, regardless of the seasons. I will follow you, God. I will follow you, God. I would allow you. Lead me. Lead me. Lead me. All right, let me read verse 5 as I make ready to step down. It says, you prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemies. Guys, sometimes the fact that we're going through a lot, the fact that we're going through tough seasons might just be God's indication saying it's time to eat, for the journey is far. We remember Elijah's story. He says, I'm tired. Say, have you eaten? Eat, for the journey is far. And the fact that we're going through tough seasons, maybe it's an indication that God is saying, see, there's something around you that you can eat from. Eat. It says he will prepare it, not in your comfort zone sometimes, in the presence of the storms, of the rains, of the winds. He will lead us even in this moment. Amen. I want to take a moment before we close to just give somebody a personal opportunity to make a decision for Jesus this evening. We want to give that room, and if we can bow our heads, close our eyes. I know it's all guys here, and I know that we've had an amazing time, but we just want to give someone a personal moment to say, I've heard all that has been discussed here, but my life is not it right now. I've walked away. I'm not in that space where I can say that I have been right. I can't say I've been right with Jesus. But today I'm making a statement to say, I want to walk that walk. I want to be a follower of Jesus. I want to pattern my life as a still man who would follow Jesus. Right? If you are here and that's you, and I'm speaking to you this evening, would you lift up your hand right where you are? Would you push your right hand right up where you are, whether in the building or online? I'd like for you to just take a moment. Thank you. Just do that. God bless you. Wherever you are, push your right hand up and just say, God, see me. I'm here. Opening it all up to you. I'm here this evening. I will take a moment and then we'll just say a few words, but I'd like for every man in the room to be saying that same word along us tonight. All right, can we say this together, family? Say, Lord Jesus, I come to you because you've made a way for me to come. I know that Jesus is the Son of God and he died on the cross for my sins. I believe in the death, the burial, and the resurrection of your Son, Jesus. Today is the day that I put my faith in Jesus. I come to you today, God. Give me a clean slate. Change me forever. Touch me forever. In Jesus' name, amen. 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 Come on, can we celebrate that decision? For anybody who made that decision, God, we celebrate that decision. If you made that decision in the building or online, I get there are ways that you can just let us know that you made that decision. But in any way, if you made that decision, you can just, maybe as you walk out, just step up, just talk to somebody. Anybody around the room say, I made that decision. And then I'm sure anybody who was up here today, just walk up to them, say, I made that decision. And I'm sure that they'll be standing for you, praying with you, and just believing and walking this journey with you. Amen. All right, before we go, we have one last quick thing that I would like to do. We have a courage card. Yeah, we have something for you to get out of the building with. All right, can I have a single one? All right, please, I invite you to have your seats, please. Okay, yeah, so we have this for you. We have Stillman Courage card for you. The idea of this, right? What we want you to do. And I remember somebody even showing me this from what they feel like maybe some 3 or 4 years ago, right? I'm guessing at that point the person wasn't even married, didn't even have a family, but the person wrote something around it. And then we just want to encourage us to do that today. So off of all that you've heard today, I want us to be making a courage statement, right? Reason why is because we know in ourselves we don't have the strength to see all that we get to go through in ourselves. But we're making a courage statement in partnership with God to say, this is the kind of man I'm becoming from here. This is the kind of man I'm becoming in the habits that I'm building. Pastor was mentioning something about it's more about what you are uprooting to also to what you are planting and building. It's all about a focus. It's all about a focus. So on here, just take a moment and then just look at this card and be saying, what am I challenging myself to? How am I challenging myself to be a better man? What habits am I challenging myself to build out of here? Maybe it's around habits that we discussed. Maybe it's in your finances. Maybe it's in relationships. Whatever it is, we'd just like for you to take a moment, fill it out. After that, we'll have something on the screen for you to also just fill out briefly. I don't think that will take you more than 2 minutes, just a feedback form for all of us. All right, so let's get to this. Please, can we have some music from the back?
Race that we go fake. How do we win all day? I do it by His grace. He touched me, touched me, touched me with His grace and mercy. Now I'm winning all day. He touched me with His grace and His mercy. Now I'm winning. Oh, for His glory. I run my race. See, I run my faith. Nobody's grace. Winning every race. I run my race. See, I run my faith. Nobody's grace. Winning every race. Run by faith. Oh, running. Every day I see me running. For His fame I'm winning. In His glory I am living. The Spirit as my guide, the sun will understand my shine, so I can shout for joy and praise, 'cause I've already won the race.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Yeah. Have we gotten to feel the courage cards already? By the way, I think I've gotten a number of people have asked me a question about it. So you're not submitting the courage cards, right? You are holding on to it. It's more like a personal statement to yourself to keep reminding you Actually, we made it so small in this way so that you can even keep it in your wallet, right? If you wanted to. I mean, guys' wallets. Those are one of those things that it's very close to you and you are always with it, right? So if you want to do that, you can definitely do that. Then we also have a feedback form that would like you to fill for us. The link is going to come up on the screen right now. So we just want to know how we can be doing better. We want to know your experience, the experience you've had so far, the goods, the bads, and all of that. So please, we're going to take a moment to actually fill that as well. If you have your phone, you can just go to bit.ly SM23 feedback, right? Let's just do that right away. If you have your phone with you, internet connection, you can just type in the link very quickly and then just take the form for us. Thank you.
Micros Empire.
It's my class. When the spirit of the Lord is upon you, never forget you must preach about the kingdom. Obini na obini saswa nyamiasi. Enti ya wapani ya mumeka nyamiasi. Get the opportunity, don't waste time. Great opportunity, don't waste time. You get the opportunity, don't waste time. Great opportunity, don't waste time. What you do, you do. What you do, you do your best. What you do, you do. What you do, you do your best. You leave the rest. Take your time to do the work. The only work to give you life, not just life, eternal life. Aye. There is no place for a lazy man in the house of God. There is no place for a lazy man in the house of God. In the house of God, you can say you don't have things to do. In the house of God, in the house of God, you get the opportunity. Don't waste time. Great opportunity. Don't waste time. You get the opportunity. Don't waste time. Great opportunity. Don't waste time.
Okay, so while you're doing that as well, if you're almost done, you can just finish it up. While you're doing that, on your way out, we have stickers, right? So I have here, we have stickers in like different colors, depending on the color you like. Anyway, I have here a blue sticker, orange, there's a light blue, there's black, right? You can just pick up a sticker on your way out. It's just on the desk where we have the snacks on your way out, right? So you can do that on your way out. Then finally, we want to thank everybody for being here. We want to thank our panelists, everyone that was up here. It was a really good time. I mean, of us enjoyed the entire time here. Yeah, I definitely did. And of course, once we're done here, we can also step out, still take some time. I think maybe some people want to finish up their games, right? You can just get to do that and then have an amazing time, right? Enjoy yourself. That's it, right? So finally, tomorrow in church, we're going to be having two services as usual. We have the 8 a.m. service and then we have the 9:45 a.m. service. So if you're coming into church tomorrow, again, invite people in your world, right? Have people come along with you and let's have an amazing service tomorrow as well, right? So thank you very much and have an amazing evening. Thank you.
Micros Empire.
It's my class. When the spirit of the Lord is upon you, never forget you must preach about the kingdom. Obini na obini saswa nyamiasi. Enti ya wapani ya mumeka nyamiasi. Get the opportunity, don't waste time. Great opportunity, don't waste time. You get the opportunity, don't waste time. Great opportunity.